Chapter 722. Fear, despair, suffocation, surprise. At this moment, all kinds of complicated expressions appeared on their faces. All of these expressions were reflected in the eyes of the three people behind them. At this moment, the three of them felt as if they were being stared at by a ferocious beast. It felt as if the beast would rush up and swallow them at any time. Say. Senior, I'm the guild's president, Lu Yu. These are the emperor-level alchemists of the Alchemy Guild. We didn't mean to disturb you. Please, withdraw your pressure. I'm afraid that the two of them won't be able to withstand it. Lu Yu? Hearing the old man's self-introduction, Lin Rei nodded and signaled Chu Ci to withdraw her emperor's pressure. He stood up and patted the dust off his body. Of course, ever since he started cultivating, dust couldn't get close to him. At this moment, Lin Rei. He was just putting on an act. Taking a step forward, Lin Rei looked at the three people with his divine sense. He nodded and said in a low voice, "You're the president of the Alchemy Guild?" Yes. Lu Yu quickly replied. I'm the guild's president, Lu Yu. I wondered if Senior. At this moment, Lu Yu was very careful. Although her alchemy realm was very high, their cultivation was very low. Take Lu Yu for example. Although he was a middle-level alchemist, his true cultivation was only at the late stage of the Divine Monarch realm. He hadn't even reached the peak. Looking at him, Lin Rei nodded and said, "All right, since you're here, let's begin. I'll wait for you." After saying that, Lin Rei planned to turn around and refine the venerable level alchemy pills. At this moment, Chu Ci had already withdrawn her pressure. However, just as he turned around, a woman's voice sounded. Her voice was filled with doubt. Senior, are you really an venerable level alchemist? It's easy to become an emperor-level alchemist, but it's very difficult to become an venerable-level alchemist. Are you sure you're an venerable-level alchemist? Don't fail to pretend to be a wolf with a big tail. Instead, you'll lose a lot of face at that time. Hearing this, Lin Rei's brows furrowed. His face turned gloomy. He then turned around and looked at the person who spoke. Bai? Do you have time to talk to Bai? Lin Rei asked. Yes, that's right. I am Bai. When the woman replied, her gaze was neither servile nor overbearing. She raised her chin high, as if she was looking down on others. Her gaze was even more arrogant. When he saw this, Lin Rei sighed in his heart and shook his head. He muttered in his heart, "Alas, I originally thought that this woman was a promising talent. I didn't expect that she would be so arrogant and dissatisfied." Of course, Lin Rei naturally didn't say these words out loud. Although he thought that in his heart, what he said was, "You want to know whether I'm a revered grade alchemist or not? This has nothing to do with you. Moreover, in my opinion, you didn't even watch me refine medicinal pills." At this moment, Lin Rei's face was slightly angry. "In my opinion, this little girl's temperament is stronger than yours." As he spoke, Lin Rei turned around and waved at Chu Ci. Then, he sat back down cross-legged. At this moment, when she saw Lin Rei's signal, she understood what he meant. She stepped forward and stood in front of Bai. She said indifferently, "Miss, please leave. My young master doesn't wish for you to watch from here." As she spoke, she politely gestured for her to leave. "You." Seeing Chu Ci's reaction, Bai's expression turned cold. She was about to explode in anger. However, just as she was about to unleash her anger, Lu Yu pulled her back and said in a low voice, "Yunfer, you should leave first. You can't afford to offend these people." "I can't afford to offend them?" What a joke. Looking at Lu Yu, Yun Kai's eyes were filled with mockery. She didn't hide her disdain at all. "I want to see how he's going to refine revered grade medicinal pills." Alas. Seeing this, Lu Yu nodded in disappointment. Then, he continued, the person in front of you is a mid-D emperor. If that's the case, what about the blind young man's stall? What about his background? Lu Yu was afraid that Bai Yi wouldn't compromise, so he continued, besides, if he can have a mid-D emperor as his bodyguard, how strong is his background? This is very important. Even though your clan is very strong, I feel that this young man's background is even stronger than your clan. Maybe he doesn't even care about your clan. Honestly speaking, he was afraid that he wouldn't be able to convince Bai Yi. Of course, he wasn't lying about his analysis. He really did see that Lin Rei wasn't an ordinary person. At the same time, he was afraid that Bai Yi would continue to cause trouble. Please leave. At that moment, Chu Xi spoke again. However, this time, his tone was extremely cold. It was as if he was suppressing a terrifying aura. If Bai Yi refused him again, he would immediately kill her without mercy. Bai Yi wasn't stupid. She could feel that the person in front of her was suppressing his anger. Thinking about the terrifying aura from before, Bai Yi was terrified. Pfft, so be it. I don't want to see it. Bai Yi took a step forward and left the alchemy room. At this moment, the pill formulas were completely silent. Lin Li felt much better about this. Looking at Lu Yu, Lin Rei said, I'm going to refine a pill called the 9 Revolutions Profound Pill. Do you know what it's used for? What? 9 Revolutions Profound Pill? That's... Hearing Lin Rei say what pill he was going to refine, Lu Yu was shocked. His voice started to tremble. That's right, the 9 Revolutions Profound Pill. Lin Rei smiled. Lin Rei had already expected Lu Yu's reaction. Senior, is the 9 Revolutions Profound Essence Pill the kind that can help a cultivator break through a realm and raise their cultivation by a small stage without any side effects? Yes, that's it. Hiss. After receiving confirmation, Lu Yu sucked in a breath of cold air. His eyes were filled with excitement. Of course, as a top expert in the deity world, there were many things that could pique his interest. However, Lu Yu was only interested in refining pills. Moreover, the 9 Revolutions Profound Pill was an upper honorable pill. This pill had been lost for a long time. Even its name and effects were only known to him from ancient books. He had thought that he would never see such a pill in his life. Moreover, although the 9 Revolutions Profound Pill was an upper honorable grade pill, its refining method was not inferior to that of a lower sacred grade pill. Not only was the material rare, but its refining method was also extremely complicated. What was more difficult was that refining the 9 Revolutions Profound Pill required extreme control over the fire. Now that he heard that the person in front of him was going to refine the 9 Revolutions Profound Pill, he began to believe that the person in front of him was an honorable pill alchemist. This was because not many people knew the name of this pill. Including him, there were less than 5 people in the deity world who knew the name of this pill. The more Lu Yu thought about it, the more excited he became. He wanted to see the entire process of refining the 9 Revolutions Profound Pill. He even wanted to obtain the 9 Revolutions Profound Pill because it was the only way he could break through to the middle deity realm. With such a temptation, not to mention him, even an exalted realm expert might not care about their reputation, kill someone to steal the treasure after hearing about the effects of the pills. Little girl, come over here. Since you have nothing to do, why don't you watch how I refine the pill? If you can learn something from it, it'll be your fortune. At that moment, Lin Li suddenly spoke to the receptionist in the room. Don't worry, Mississippi, Me? At this moment, when the girl heard the sudden words, he was a little overwhelmed by the favor. She had never thought of such a good thing. Although she had wanted to learn how to refine pills before, she did not have enough purple coins for him to do so. However, when she heard that she could give it to him, she was so excited that she could not help but cry. Seeing her like this, Lin Rei laughed and waved his hand. Instantly, a red spiritual energy rushed out and turned into a chain that bound her. Then, he shook his hand and the girl was brought to a spot not far behind Lin Rei. Originally, Lin Ray wanted her to come closer to him. However, considering her cultivation level, he was afraid that she would not be able to withstand the temperature of the illusory spirit blood fire. In the end, he could only refine the pill behind him. After that, Lin Ray quickly took out the spiritual herbs needed to refine the 9 revolutions origin pill and divided them according to their respective proportions. Boom! Suddenly, the mirage blood fire shot out of Linley's palm, floating in front of Linley as though it had a mind of its own. Hiss! This flame! When the flame appeared, Lu Yu was shocked. He could feel the threat, fear, and even the aura of death coming from the flame. It was his first time seeing this kind of flame, but it was unforgettable. After all, this kind of flame did not exist in the world. Of course, Lin Ray's flame was the only exception. Whoosh, whoosh, at this moment, Linley moved. Linley stretched out his hand and tossed all of the elixirs that had already been distributed into the flames. This. At this moment, Lu Yu wanted to kill him. He had never seen such a method of refining pills before. He started to doubt whether the person in front of him knew how to refine pills. Of course, he did not say anything and continued to watch. The world was full of wonders. Just because he had never seen it before did not mean that it did not exist. Thinking of this, Lu Yu's eyes fell on the flame in front of Lin Ray again. At this moment, the girl who was sitting not far behind Lin Ray had been watching Lin Ray's every move since the beginning. I feel something, but why can't I grasp it? At this moment, the girl was very anxious. In fact, she was very anxious. Feeling the girl's strange movements, Lin Ray immediately separated a trace of his consciousness and landed on the girl. When he saw her appearance at this moment, Lin Ray immediately frowned. Sigh, it seems that I've thought too much. Letting a person who has never refined pills see such a profound alchemy technique will not only not help her unlock it, but also cause her to go mad. Thinking of this, Lin Ray hurriedly sent a voice transmission to wake the girl up and tell her to stop comprehending. Junior high school did not dare to disobey Lin Ray's order. After receiving the order, Chu Xiai quickly came back to her senses. She reached out to wake the girl up and let her rest at the side. The girl did not complain at all. After all, she was already very grateful that she was able to witness this moment. She did not ask for anything else. Moreover, during this period of time, she seemed to have felt something. If she were to refine pills now, she had a feeling that refining a human-grade superior pill would not be a problem. Of course, this was just her wishful thinking. Whether it would succeed or not, she would have to test it out in the end. Suddenly, a loud shout attracted everyone's attention. They saw more than 30 drops of quenching liquid of various colors rushing out of the flame. At this moment, the moment the quenching liquid rushed out of the flame, Lin Ray took out the corresponding bottles according to the amount of quenching liquid on the ground. Dee-dong, 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 more than 30 drops of quenching liquid fell into the bottles. In just a breath's time, Lin Ray had completed the process. If this had happened to someone else, I'm afraid. Phew. Next, it's time to fuse the pills. Looking at the quenching liquid that had its impurities removed, Lin Ray smiled. Then, he activated the flame again. His hands sucked at the 30 bottles. Suddenly, all the quenching liquid flew out and was poured into the flame by Lin Ray. 9 Dragon Elixir Fusion Technique, melt for me. With a loud shout, Lin Ray cast a spell that made everyone confused. At first, it was very fast, but at least everyone could see it clearly. However, as time went by, Lin Ray's speed became faster and faster. In the end, even his shadow could not be seen. Therefore, everyone could only give up watching. At this moment, the more Lu Yu watched from behind, the more shocked he became. At this moment, he was certain that this blind young man in front of him was indeed a genuine venerable grade alchemist. Moreover, it wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that he was a saint-grade alchemist. Time passed bit by bit. The temperature in the room was getting higher and higher. At the beginning of the process, everyone could still accept it. However, as time went on, they could not bear it anymore. The heat was making them collapse. As for everyone's appearance, Lin Ray naturally saw it clearly. Although he was refining pills, he kept a trace of his divine sense on the three people behind him. However, to Linley's surprise, although the three of them couldn't stand it, the girl who had never refined pills before was completely different from before. Her eyes were wide open as she stared at him. She didn't even dare to blink for a moment, as if she was afraid of missing something. Seeing this, Lin Ray became curious. System, help me check all the information about this girl. Ding dong, yes, begin checking. Please wait a moment, 5 minutes. 8 minutes, ding dong, checking completed. Do you want to check? Chapter 723. Check. As soon as he finished speaking, all the information about the girl appeared in his mind in the form of words. Tian Yu, 860 years old, peak of late heaven immortal realm, supreme grade fire attribute spiritual root, low grade wood attribute spiritual root, dual spiritual roots, high grade perception, high grade aptitude. Heh, it can't be. Seeing how good Tianyu's attributes were, Linley was tempted to recruit her. One had to know that although her attributes weren't the best, they definitely wouldn't be bad. Moreover, what Lin Ray could not figure out was why the guild did not cultivate such a good person in front of him. Of course, Lin Ray had a good impression of the guild at this time. After all, they did not recruit Tianyu. This time, he had benefited from it. Thinking of this, Linley had already decided to bring Tianyu back to the sect. Although she was only a heavenly immortal, this was after all just the beginning. Her mission was to become an alchemist. In the future, her cultivation would slowly rise along with her motivation to become an alchemist. Lin Ray was not very worried about this. He was just afraid that Tianyu would not leave with him. Thinking of this, Lin Ray had a slight headache. Originally, he wanted to recruit someone like Bai Yi. But after seeing her like this, Lin Ray was thoroughly disappointed. But it was also very good to pick up such a person. In other words, he did not return empty-handed. Thinking of this, Lin Ray's mood was slightly better. At this time, in the illusory spirit blood fire, the pill fusion part was completed at this moment. Oh. 9 Dragons Pill Fusion Technique, Fuse. With a loud shout, Lin Ray's pill fusion technique began to change. From the original 1 pill, the next moment, it became 24 pills. In the end, there was another change. The original 24 pills became 48 pills in the next moment. Each pill was round, smooth, and full of luster. At this time, the pill was different from the heavenly primary pill. The previous heavenly Xian pill had 8 elixir veins. But now, the 9 Revolution Heavenly Xian pill had 10 elixir veins. The fragrance of the pills wafted through the air. At this moment, the moment they smelled the fragrance of the pills, the 3 of them felt their realms begin to loosen. Hiss. Finally. Finally, my realm has loosened. At this moment, Lu Yu's face was filled with excitement the moment he smelled the pill fragrance. His heart was surging with excitement. The moment he smelled the 9 revolving profound origin pill, the bottleneck that had been bothering him for 1,000 years was finally broken. How could he not be excited? As long as he could break through to the next level, he would become an Emperor Realm cultivator. Edited by Lifer, Fingerfox. Sensing this, Lu Yu wanted nothing more than to rush forward and grab one. However, when he saw the warning look in Chu Si's eyes, he felt as if a river from the 9 heavens had been poured over him. Sigh. With a sigh, Lu Yu hurriedly suppressed the excitement in his heart. He had seen Chu Si's great emperor's aura before. Ha! 9 Dragons Elixir Formation Technique, the elixir is complete. Whoosh! Whoosh! Lin Ray shouted. Immediately, the flames disappeared and the 48 9 Revolutions Black Vitality pills floated in the air, but they didn't escape. Heh! Looking at them, Lin Ray curled his lips inexplicably. Then, he waved his hand and the 48 9 Revolutions Black Vitality pills were placed in 5 pill bottles that he had prepared beforehand. Phew. After doing all this, Lin Rei let out a long breath and stood up. As for those 5 bottles of pills, Lin Li put away 4 of them and tossed the last one to Lu Yu. His face was filled with indifference, as though these pills were nothing more than ordinary pills. Take a look and see if this is a venerable grade pill. If it is, give me a venerable grade pill refiner's robe and a badge to prove it. Then, I can leave. Hearing this, Lu Yu opened the bottle with trembling hands. Instantly, an aura that captivated him appeared. For a moment, he had the urge to take it for himself. It's a high venerable grade pill, 9 revolutions black vitality pill. Moreover, I'm afraid that your alchemy realm is even higher than this. Lu Yu said excitedly as he lowered his head to look at the pills in the bottle. His eyes never left the bottle as if the pills would disappear in the next moment. If that's the case, that's great. Hearing this, Lin Rei smiled. Then, he waved his hand and spiritual energy rushed out of his palm and turned into a spiritual hand. It accurately grabbed the pill bottle in Lu Yu's hand and kept it. Lu Eugene couldn't help but open his mouth to say something when he saw Lin Li's ice-cold expression. He didn't dare to say anything else. Lu Eugene was about to say something when he saw Lin Li's icy expression. He swallowed the rest of his words and didn't dare to say anything else. If that's the case, give me the badge and robe. I still have things to do and I don't have time to waste here. After saying this, Lin Rei put the lid back on the pill bottle and kept it in his storage ring. Lin Rei didn't need to think to know what Lu Yu was thinking. However, if Lu Yu didn't give him something in return, it would be impossible for him to get the pills. Yes, I'll go now. Please wait for a moment. After saying this, Lu Yu quickly opened the door and left. Looking at Lu Yu's back, Lin Rei couldn't help but laugh coldly. Then, he retracted his consciousness and looked at Chu Ci. Looking at him, Lin Rei said, "How was it? Did you have any comprehension just now? Did you have any understanding of the pills that you refined?" This. Hearing Lin Rei's question, Chu Ci's face instantly turned red and a trace of guilt appeared on his face. Sigh. Hearing Chu Ci's hesitation, Lin Rei knew that he didn't have any comprehension. However, after thinking about it carefully, he realized that it was his fault. After all, he was only an imperial-grade alchemist. He couldn't force it. Alright, since you didn't understand, from tomorrow onwards, I'll focus on teaching you the comprehension of an imperial-grade alchemist, as well as spiritual herbs, pill recipes, and pill techniques. Yes, young master. I've already studied hard. In the alchemy conference in 10 days, I definitely won't bring shame to your name, Chu Ci said excitedly. That's good. Although he heard this, Lin Rei didn't have any expectations. After all, he didn't have any expectations for this kind of competition. If it wasn't for the fact that he needed the help of the Danzong sect, he wouldn't even have come back, let alone come here to verify his identity as an imperial-grade alchemist. Say, S.E., my lord, this junior, just as Lin Rei and Chu Ci were talking, a submissive voice entered their ears. Instantly, their gazes fell on the girl. Looking at her, Lin Rei smiled and took the initiative to speak. Little girl, I wonder if you're willing to be my servant and serve me? Young master, you. Stunned. Stupefied. In that moment, as soon as Lin Li said those words, the girl was stupefied. The nearby Chu Ci was stupefied as well. This had happened so suddenly that Chu Ci wasn't mentally prepared at all. Moreover, he hadn't seen through Lin Rei's intentions before. What? You don't want to? Looking at her expression, Lin Rei was stunned for a moment before hurriedly tempting her. If you become my maidservant, not only will you be able to rise above others, you will also become a respected alchemist. Your cultivation will also rise to a level that others can only look up to. Moreover, that's not all. Other than that, I can also guarantee that when you take me to the saint's world, I'll take you with me and let you enjoy eternal life. Speaking up to this point, Lin Rei himself became excited. In short, as long as she followed him, everything in the past would not happen. He would become a god that everyone revered. At this moment, Chu Ci, who had listened to the entire process, was so shocked that he was speechless. One had to know that even he didn't have to do this in the past. For a moment, he was envious of the person before him. Little girl, what are you hesitating for? This is such a good thing, why aren't you agreeing? You should know that this kind of thing doesn't happen all the time. Noticing the girl's hesitation, before Linley could say anything, Chu Ci hurriedly tried to dissuade her. Ha! Looking at Chu Ci, Lin Rei chuckled and nodded to the girl. His face was filled with gentleness. For a moment, the entire pill refining room fell silent. Lin Rei, Chu Ci, and the girl sank into silence. Lin Rei didn't rush the girl. After all, this was up to her willingness and couldn't be forced. As the saying goes, a forcibly picked melon won't be sweet. He didn't want to be treated as an unpardonable evil person. Dong dong dong, the silence was broken. The three of them looked at the door and saw that Lu Yu, who had left, had returned. The difference was that Lu Yu was holding a black robe with his hands raised. On the robe was a palm-sized guild leader with a large black cauldron engraved on it. At this moment, Lu Yu walked over to Linley with a respectful expression. He bowed and said, Supreme Grade Alchemist of the Supreme Realm, this is your alchemist robe and your Supreme Grade Alchemist badge. Please keep it well. With this item, you can order any alchemist guild in the Divine Realm to work for you. They will work for you without any cost. I understand. Naturally, he knew these rules. After all, he had verified his identity as an alchemist in the past. After receiving the alchemist robe and the president's robe, he immediately put them away. He wouldn't wear these things for no reason. After doing all this, Lin Rei looked at Tian Yu again and asked, How is it, little girl? Have you thought it through? I don't have much time. If you have made your decision, come with me. What? Lu Yu looked at the girl enviously when he heard Lin Rei's words. At this moment, Lu Yu wished that he was the girl. Because then, she would be able to obtain the true teachings of an alchemist and become a top-notch alchemist. However, what surprised Lu Yu was that the girl was still as hesitant as before. It was as if there was something that made it difficult for her to make a decision. However, most people would beg and beg for such a good thing. However, she was like this now. Hurry up and agree. Lu Yu, who was standing at the side, was also worried about Tian Yu. He really couldn't understand why she would be so hesitant when such a good thing was in front of her. Yes, agree. Young master doesn't accept people casually. The reason why he did this is because you are outstanding. So, agree. At this moment, Lu Yu and Chu Ci started to verbally attack her, but the girl didn't seem to be moved. She looked at Lin Rei in confusion. After a few minutes, the girl seemed to have made up her mind. She let out a long breath and said, Sir, may I ask why you want me to be your servant? Just like Chu Ci said, you have extraordinary talent and can become an alchemist. I don't want my gold to be covered in dust, so I want to take you in and teach you alchemy, magic, combat, assassination, and so on. Of course, there will be a reward. Looking at the girl, Linley chuckled, then continued, If I had known, most likely in the entire divine realm, or perhaps even in the entire universe, I would be the only person capable of producing such an item. Every single item is capable of driving all deities and saints crazy, so, what is the reward? She didn't care about Lin Rei's words. She only cared about what the reward was. That was all. Hearing this, Lin Rei was surprised. However, he quickly came back to his senses and said without hesitation, When you have true strength, you must kill people for me. Kill those who threaten me. Of course, you will be my disciple, buy things for me, run errands, massage my back, and so on. The moment he said this, the confusion on the girl's face disappeared. In the blink of an eye, she smiled and said, I agree to be your servant. Saying this, the girl quickly bowed and said loudly, Servant Tian Yu greets young master. Good. Seeing her like this, Lin Rei smiled and took a step forward. When she wasn't paying attention, he grabbed her hand and prepared to leave. But, Senior, please wait. Hearing this, Lin Rei stopped. He didn't turn his head and didn't speak. Tian Yu turned around and asked, May I know why the president called for my young master? Looking at the girl in front of him who was neither servile nor overbearing and was completely different from the submissive girl from before, Lu Yu was stunned. However, he quickly recovered and said, It's like this. I have been at the peak of the late divine monarch realm for 1,000 years. When I smelled the fragrance of the 9 revolutions profound pill, the shackles on me loosened a little. Moreover, with the special characteristics of the pill, I think I would like to ask for one from you. Of course, I am willing to exchange something of equal value for it. Senior, what do you think? Oh. What is it? Why don't you take it out and let me see? If it is really comparable to the 9 revolutions profound pill, then I would be more than happy to. At this time, it wasn't Tian Yu who spoke but Lin Rei himself. After all, they didn't dare to make a decision on this matter. When Lu Yu heard Lin Rei's words, he quickly took out a stone that looked like an eye from his storage ring. Seeing this, Lin Rei frowned and couldn't help but reveal a look of suspicion. Chapter 724. Originally, Lin Rei thought that Lu Yu would take out something that would tempt him, but the result was not satisfactory. To be honest, Lin Rei really did not see anything that would tempt him about the eye-like stone in front of him. Sir, you, listen to me, this thing is definitely a treasure, really. Seeing Lin Rei's slightly angry expression, Lu Yu's heart trembled and he hurriedly explained. Seeing Lu Yu's confident expression, Lin Rei was puzzled for a moment. What's so good about this thing? Isn't it just a piece? Just as Lin Rei was speaking, the little dragon, who had been silent, suddenly spoke up. Lin Rei, quick, exchange with him, this thing is incredible. The sudden words made Lin Rei stunned. However, Lin Rei trusted the little dragon very much. Anything that could catch the little dragon's eye was already considered shocking. Now that the little dragon was so excited, it could prove that this unknown stone in front of him might indeed be an incredible treasure. Thinking of this, Lin Rei instantly released his consciousness and a trace of it went into the stone to investigate. Lin Rei, who had been looking forward to it because of the little dragon's words, looked more and more unsightly in the process of investigation. At this time, Lu Yu also knew that he seemed to have messed up. After a minute, Lin Rei, who had been investigating for a long time, did not find a trace of spirit qi in the stone at all, let alone a piece of jade. Immediately, he frowned and with doubts in his heart, entered the system with his consciousness and asked the little dragon, who was sitting cross-legged on the surface of the lake. I've just observed this stone, there is not a trace of spirit qi, and there is nothing that would tempt me, are you sure this thing is good? Heh. Seeing Lin Li's confusion, Xiaolong slowly stood up. With a smile on his face, he said in a calm voice, Damn it. Didn't I tell you before that if you wanted your eyes to be healed, what method would you need? You need to reach Saint. Just as he replied to the little dragon, Lin Rei suddenly seemed to have thought of something, and then his face became excited. Could it be? Could it be that this has something to do with my eyes? That's right. Seeing Lin Rei so excited, the little dragon smiled. You probably know that this stone is an incredible treasure, although I don't know why it was sealed, but I can tell you that this thing is not even afraid of Haotian when it was not sealed. Haotian. Haotian, as soon as he heard the little dragon's words, he took a deep breath, his heart was indescribable. If even Haotian didn't fear it, one could imagine how powerful it was. But Lin Li couldn't understand why it was still acting like this. The Eye of Tendo contains the laws of heaven and earth, possessing it is equivalent to possessing the power of Tendo. Tell me, with such power, it shouldn't be a problem to cure your eyes. The little dragon, who knew what Lin Rei was thinking, did not say it directly, but instead led him back to the original topic. Sure enough, after hearing the little dragon's words, Lin Rei put his previous doubts to the back of his mind for a moment, and then he said excitedly, "Really, can my eyes really be cured? It shouldn't be a problem. Of course, there might be some accidents, of course, I can still guarantee what you see, but..." At this point, the little dragon suddenly fell silent, and his expression became serious. Is there a problem? Looking at the little dragon, Lin Rei was puzzled, because until now, Lin Rei had only seen a few things that could make the little dragon reveal such an expression, of course, every time something shocking happened. The little dragon nodded. To help you recover your eyes, you can imagine the amount of energy needed. This time, I might fall into a deep sleep again. As for when I will wake up, I'm not sure. At this moment, Lin Rei hesitated. Although he really wanted to recover his eyes, he did not want the little dragon to sacrifice for him, no matter what, he did not like it. At this moment, Lin Rei fell into a dilemma. The scene suddenly became quiet. For a moment, the little dragon lifted his head and looked at Lin Rei's conflicted expression, and a warm current flowed into his heart. All right, it's decided then. At this moment, the little dragon was very determined. You are also going to enter the ancient corpse trove, and I originally wanted to help you, but now it seems. I can't help you, said. The little dragon smiled freely, full of indifference. But it's fine, I have already healed your eyes. Hearing Xiaolong's words, Linli didn't know what to say, but as soon as the word left his mouth, something seemed to be stuck in his throat, and he couldn't say another word. At this moment, tears flowed from his eyes. At this moment, the world lost its color, and at this moment, it was as if only the two of them existed. Looking at the little dragon, Lin Rei did not know what to say. Every time, it was because of him that the little dragon was forced into a deep sleep. At this moment, Lin Rei felt that his strength was still not enough, far from enough. Although he had now become an existence that ordinary people could only dream of, he still felt that his strength was far from enough. At this moment, he wished that he had absolute strength. If he had absolute strength, he would not have been injured by Hao Tian's divine sense in the 9 underworlds. If that was the case, then how long would it be now? Thinking of this, Lin Rei's hatred for Hao Tian became even more intense. He wished that he could have the strength to crush the heavenly court right now. This way, he could avenge himself and protect the people around him. All right, go, take the Tendo's eye, and then drip your blood to recognize it as your master. Now that the Tendo's eye has been sealed, it means that the consciousness in the Tendo's eye has been erased. This way, as long as you drip your blood to recognize it as your master, it will completely belong to you. This way, you can comprehend the Tendo's law within it, which will be of great use to you. Of course, such a thing can only be used as a reference. If I find out, you can directly operate the Tendo's law. At that time, even without the system's help, I will personally destroy you, do you understand? As he spoke, the little dragon's face suddenly became gloomy, and his eyes were filled with a thick murderous aura, as if he would do as he said at any time. Of course, Lin Rei did not make any presumptuous assertions about the little dragon at this moment, because he believed that the little dragon would really do it, and it would be the kind that would do it cleanly. Yes, I understand. Lin Rei nodded in agreement, because he knew that no matter how much he refuted, the little dragon would still do it, and he could not stop it. Rather than that, he might as well say that the little dragon wanted him to and directly agree to it. Okay, after this alchemy conference is over, I will begin to help you recover your eyes. At most, it will take 20 years to help you recover your sight. Okay, I understand. Got it. Make the arrangements. As he spoke, Linli nodded and left the system, returning to his own body. Your Excellency, this thing is really good. Don't be fooled by its lack of spiritual qi. If you keep this thing by your side, the speed of your practice will be greatly improved. Believe me, I am not lying to you, Your Excellency. At this moment, Lu Yu's face was covered in tears and snot. He no longer looked like the president of the alchemist guild that everyone wanted to curry favor with. He no longer had the status of a mid-grade zone stage alchemist. He was simply like a child. Lin Rei, who had returned to his body, was stunned when he heard Gu Si's words. Then, he came back to his senses and used his divine sense to check on Lu Yu, who was kneeling in front of him. For a moment, Lin Rei hurriedly supported him and said, "President Lu, what are you doing? Isn't it just an elixir? I will exchange it with you, quickly get up." "What? You will exchange it with me? Well, right? Why, you don't want to?" Lin Rei teased. No. I am willing. Of course, I am willing. As long as you give me the 9 transformation profound pill, I will agree to anything you want. Excitement. At this moment, Lu Yu was so excited that he almost floated away. Of course, this was not important. What was important was that he had gotten what he wanted, the 9 transformation profound pill. Now, he could become an Emperor Realm expert. Looking at Lu Yu's expression, Lin Rei laughed and immediately said, "It's nothing. Just give me the stone as I said before." After saying that, Lin Rei did not wait for Lu Yu to speak. With a thought, the elixir bottle containing the 9 transformation profound pill appeared in his palm. Then, he opened the bottle cap and the elixir shot out in an instant, landing accurately in Lu Yu's palm. "Profound pill, 9 transformation profound pill, I finally got it, ha ha ha." Looking at the 9 transformation profound pill in his hand, which was emitting a pill fragrance and had 10 elixir veins on it, Lu Yu could not help but exclaim. He even forgot to pass the stone to Lin Rei. Seeing this, Lin Rei frowned. "President Lu, you have already gotten what you are supposed to get. Is it time for my young master to bring the stone over?" At this moment, Tianyu, who was standing aside, sensed Lin Rei's intention. Then, he took a step forward and stretched out his hand towards Lu Yu. Yes. Yes. Hearing Tianyu's words, Lu Yu regained his senses and glanced at Lin Rei. When he saw Lin Rei's slightly gloomy face, cold sweat appeared on Lu Yu's forehead. His heart thumped heavily. He did not dare to delay and handed the stone over to Tianyu respectfully. Then, he stood aside in panic, trembling slightly and not daring to say a word. "Young master, this is your stone." At this moment, those stones. Tianyu walked in front of Linley, propping them up with both hands and speaking respectfully. "Heh. Not bad." Lin Rei was very pleased with Tianyu's performance. With a wave of his sleeve, Lin Rei kept the stone in Tianyu's hand. After everything was done, Lin Rei's face finally revealed a smile. "Let's go. It's time for us to leave." With that, Lin Rei stepped out of the pill refining room and walked out of the alchemy guild. Chu Xi and Tianyu followed closely behind Lin Rei, one on his left and one on his right. Phew. They're finally gone. At this moment, Lu Yu, who was in the pill refining room, felt that Lin Rei and the other two's auras had left. Instantly, his tensed heart relaxed. At this moment, when he thought of everything that had happened, his body couldn't help but shiver. At this moment, Lu Yu couldn't help but pray that he would never see this person again. Jia, at this moment, the sound of the door opening entered Lu Yu's ears. A beautiful Bai wearing a blue shirt walked in from outside. "Uncle Lu, has that person left?" "Hee, it's Yun, Seeing that it was Bai, Lu Yu smiled. "Uncle Lu, how was it? Did that person succeed? Did he fail?" "Like I said, how could he have succeeded? It's just that there's an Emperor Realm expert waiting for him." Bai's face was full of disdain as she spoke. "Shoo." At this moment, Lu Yu looked at Bai, who dared to speak so boldly about Lin Rei. He quickly gestured for her to keep quiet. Then, he waved his hand and closed the door. He looked at Bai with a serious expression and warned her. "Yun, you can't touch that person. Moreover, you don't have the ability to do so. You can't wait. As he spoke, Lu Yu's eyes flashed with a hint of mockery. That person just now was a genuine venerable grade alchemist. Moreover, he was a venerable grade high-grade alchemist. It can be said that even if it was a saint-grade low-grade alchemist, that lord could handle it. What? How is that possible? Bai Yi was shocked. Remember, don't provoke such a person. Even your Bai clan can't afford to offend him. Moreover, it's not just the person beside him who's an Emperor realm expert. I can feel that his cultivation is much stronger than his follower. I can even say that he's a hierarch expert. This. Bai Yi was stunned when she heard Lu Yu's words. Her eyes were filled with disbelief. Uncle Lu, are you sure that he's a high venerable grade alchemist? Are you sure that he's a hierarch expert? Seeing how anxious Bai Yi was, a bad premonition arose in Lu Yu's heart. Yes, I'm sure that he's a high venerable grade alchemist. There's no doubt about it. However, I'm not sure about his cultivation. At the very least, he should be a late god emperor. You. Put on. At that moment, Bai Yi seemed to have lost all her strength. She sat on the ground, paralyzed. Her face was pale and bloodless. It was as though she had lost her soul. You, what did you do? Lu Yu couldn't help but ask. However, his expression was exactly the same as Bai Yi's. It was as though he had thought of something terrifying. It's over. It's too late. At this moment, Bai Yi muttered to herself. Lu Yu, who was standing at the side, heard everything clearly. He seemed to have thought of something and asked anxiously, You didn't send Bai Jiang, huh? That's right. I sent Bai Jiang out to, secretly kill, that person. Bai Yi looked up at Lu Yu and said weakly. What? You? At that moment, fear rose in his heart. At that moment, he felt that death was so close to him. It was so close that he felt cold. It's all over. Lu Yu gritted his teeth as he looked at Bai Yi, who was like a dead person. He wanted nothing more than to kill her. Chapter 725. Lin Rei and the rest walked out of the Alchemist Guild and returned to the hotel. Jia. At this moment, the door to one of the rooms that Lin Rei and the rest were staying at opened. A woman in red with a red veil over her face was carrying a person. This person's face was pale, and there was no sign of life in his body. Even his 7 orifices were bleeding non-stop. It was clear that this was no longer a living person, but a corpse that could not be said to be alive. Furthermore, the blood had not coagulated. It was obvious that this person had died not long ago. Lin Rei frowned when he saw this. He was slightly puzzled. You're back. The woman in red suddenly spoke. The person who spoke was Xie Feng. Yes, I'm back. Lin Rei replied. He then pointed at the corpse in her hand and asked, what happened to him? As Lin Li spoke, Chu Xi's gaze turned towards him as well. He also wanted to know who it was that was so reckless as to offend this person. Others might not know, but he knew exactly how powerful the demonic phoenix was. Xie Feng waved her hand casually when she saw the puzzled look on everyone's faces. She then explained the identity of the corpse. Just before you all returned, this person suddenly appeared here and said that he wanted to kill everyone related to you. Hence, I directly refined and captured him. Then, I used the undying flame to force a confession out of him. Although the process was a little tragic, I was very satisfied with the outcome. Xie Feng then looked at Tianyu, who was behind Lin Rei, with a mocking expression. She then continued, in the end, this SD said that he was an elder of the Bai family. He said that you offended someone called by Kai, something. Hence, he was sent to kill you and everyone related to you. Lin Rei frowned when he heard Xie Feng's words. After listening to Xie Feng's explanation, he now understood that the only person he had offended, other than the Danzong sect, was Bai Yi from the Alchemist Guild. However, what Linley didn't expect was that this woman would be so narrow-minded. She actually sent a martial emperor to assassinate him over such a small matter. At the same time, Cheong City's Bai family was now on Lin Rei's blacklist. He had said a long time ago that anyone who touched the dragon's reverse scale would die. He would not even allow those close to him to do so. Hence, when he made his move, the Bai family was already on the verge of destruction. Chu Ci, give me his storage ring. As for this gift, give it to the Bai family. Yes, Your Majesty. Hearing the order, Chu Ci stepped forward, arriving by Evil Phoenix's side. She respectfully accepted the corpse of the Bai clan's emperor, then removed the storage ring from the corpse's finger. After handing it to Linley, she disappeared from the inn. Lin Rei smiled when he saw Chu Ci disappear. He did not say anything else and went straight to Xia Feng's room. Xia Feng did not stop him. However, ever since Lin Rei returned, Xia Feng had noticed that there was a good girl following behind Lin Rei. Although she looked alright, her cultivation was extremely weak. When she saw that she wanted to follow Lin Rei into her room, Xia Feng frowned. She reached out and bound Tian Yu with her spiritual energy. Sensing that her body wasn't listening to her, Tian Yu hurriedly turned her head to look at Evil Phoenix behind her. When she saw Evil Phoenix's smile, Tian Yu knew what was going on. She immediately turned her head and looked at Linley with pleading eyes, hoping that he could help. Enough, Evil Phoenix. She's a servant girl I just took in. Release her. Let her stand guard outside. Linley said, his voice extremely calm. I understand. Xia Feng did not waste any more time. She retrieved the spiritual energy from Tian Yu's body and walked towards her room. When Tian Yu heard Lin Rei's order, she felt a little disappointed. However, she did not say anything and walked to the door. Lin Rei did not mind. He walked into his room and closed the door. Then, he found a place to sit down. Not bad, kid. You brought back a pretty girl after a trip. I was wondering why you did not bring your cultivation companion. So this is the reason. At this moment, a teasing voice was heard. Lin Rei felt as if he was sitting on pins and needles. At the same time, he felt helpless. Sigh. I say, can you not talk nonsense? Lin Rei did not know Xia Feng very well. However, he knew that Xia Feng wanted to explain. In this regard, Lin Rei did not hide anything and told her about Tian Yu's identity. 5 minutes later. Oh, you are quite cunning. You can even meet such a talented person when you are out. TSK, tisk. Despite this, Linley could tell that a hint of a smile had appeared on Demonic Phoenix's face. Phew. She took a deep breath and said, oh yes, how is Zhuge Mingyue? Oh. That little girl. Hearing Linley's words, the Evil Phoenix nodded and said, she's in the same state as you were when you left. She's locked in place, unable to break free. She can't use her cultivation, nor can she use her communication device. Right now, she's probably depressed to death. As she said that, Xia Feng laughed happily. Her voice was as clear as the chirping of 100 birds. It was mesmerizing. Even someone as calm as Linley couldn't help but stare blankly for a few seconds when he saw the Evil Phoenix's smile. However, after a few breaths, Lin Rei came back to his senses. Then, he secretly operated his cultivation method and suppressed the desire in his body. As a martial sage, how could Xia Feng not feel the strange movements in Lin Rei's body? Xia Feng was very proud of this because this was her ability. Air. At this moment, Lin Rei's face turned red. He was a little embarrassed, but he had to change the topic. That. I am planning to go into seclusion this time. What? You are going into seclusion again? Xia Feng, who was still smiling, froze the moment she heard Lin Rei's words. Her smile naturally disappeared. Yes. Seeing Xia Feng make such a fuss, Lin Rei laughed and continued, this time, I am here to participate in the alchemy conference. But you know that Chu Si's alchemy skills are really, really terrible. I have to take advantage of these few days to impart the alchemy experience of an emperor-level alchemist to him. With that, Lin Rei shrugged helplessly. Also, after this matter is settled, I plan to go into seclusion for about 10 or 20 years. Damn. Hearing 10 or 20 years, Xia Feng immediately cursed. Then, she asked in confusion, why? Isn't it just for the alchemy conference? Why do you need to go into seclusion? Seeing her confusion, Lin Rei struggled in his heart. He did not want to say it, but thinking that he still had a long way to go in the future, he did not hide it and told her about the Tendo's eye. It's like this. Just before I came back, I accidentally obtained an unconscious Tendo's eye. I want to use it as a medium to cure my eyes. Although it is not a big problem, it is not appropriate. Ah, Tendo's eye. Tisk. At this moment, Xia Feng's eyes were wide open. It could be seen how shocked she was when she heard about the Tendo's eye. Although she was a product of the Eldritch Age, she still knew about the Tendo's eye. However, at the same time, after hearing Lin Rei's words, Xia Feng's eyes were filled with worry. Are you sure that it is an unconscious Tendo's eye? If it isn't, then even if it was at its peak, I am afraid that it would not be able to suppress it. Hearing this, Lin Rei's heart warmed. Then, he said firmly, yes, I have confirmed that it is unconscious. Don't worry. Phew. That's good, that's good. Looking at Xia Feng's expression, Lin Rei smiled. Then, at this moment, his divine consciousness entered the martial arts practice field in the system. Before he left, he had said that he would release the little phoenix from the system when he returned. It just so happened that he had some time now. Otherwise, he didn't know how long he would have to wait. At this moment, Lin Rei was in the air. He lowered his head and looked at the big red bird lying in the middle of the martial arts practice field. Lin Rei smiled and called out loudly, hey, little phoenix, do you want to go out and meet your mother? The phoenix, who was sleeping comfortably in the middle of the martial arts practice field, heard Lin Rei's call. Then, a bright phoenix cry came from the big bird's mouth. His voice was so loud that even Linley almost couldn't handle it. After all, he was nothing more than a strand of divine will. But of course, if his original body was here, even if the giant bird attacked him at full force, Linley would still be able to slap him to the ground. Although he wouldn't be able to slap him to death, he would be able to make him lie down for a period of time. Humph, kid, don't talk nonsense with me. You're lucky to have stayed here for such a long time. Even mother doesn't get such treatment. Lin Rei looked at him and snorted. His voice turned ice cold. Before he could refute, Lin Rei waved his hand and sent him out. Bam! At this moment, in the hotel's backyard, Xia Feng's room was originally quiet and complete. But all of a sudden, a huge creature appeared and squeezed the room. It wasn't just demonic Phoenix's room, all of the rooms within a radius of several hundred meters were filled to the brim by Linley's giant bird. Bam! 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 Everyone in Xiongzhou City heard and noticed the loud noises and vibrations. Humph, small fry. At this moment, Lin Rei, who had returned to his original form, looked at the surroundings with a smile. F***ck, kid, what are you doing? At this moment, just as Lin Rei was rejoicing in his heart, Xia Feng's voice suddenly sounded. Lin Rei immediately shivered and hurriedly turned his head to explain, I'm about to go into seclusion. He's been with me for a long time, so I should let him out, so, after saying that, Linley no longer paid any attention to her. With a flash, he disappeared. When he reappeared, he was already on top of the giant bird's head. Kid, if you don't want to be used as refining material, hurry up and retract your body. If you're too slow, I can't guarantee what will happen next. TCH. The big bird rolled its eyes at Lin Rei and didn't retort. Its body suddenly shrunk. In just a few seconds, a young man dressed in luxurious brocade robes, with a head full of red hair, a jade-like face, fair skin, sword-like eyebrows, and starry eyes, appeared. Compared to this young man, his handsomeness couldn't even be described as handsome. However, judging from his appearance, he was at most 17 or 18 years old. His body was also rather small, only about 1.6 meters tall. Looking at him, Lin Rei was taken aback. Then, he returned to his senses. Not bad, little fella, you take after your mother. Lin Rei, can't you do it? Didn't I just absorb a little bit of chaos aura from your place? Do you have to be so stingy? Really? Ugh. Upon hearing his words, Lin Rei was speechless and mumbled inwardly. F***ck, how is that a little bit of chaos aura? You absorbed it for hundreds of thousands of years, okay? Even I didn't have the chance to enter it. Of course, Lin Rei couldn't possibly say those words out loud. Looking at him, Lin Rei could only smile instead. I say, can the two of you do it? Look at the situation now. What do you think? The sudden, ice-cold voice sent a chill down Lin Rei and Big Bird's backs. They turned around awkwardly. Mother, you. This has nothing to do with me. It's Lin Rei's doing. I just came out. I want to take a good look around. I'll take my leave first. Swish, before Lin Rei and Xia Feng returned to their senses, the little fella disappeared. By the time Lin Rei and Big Bird reacted, he was already dead. F***ck, another scammer. Looking at Xia Feng, Lin Rei knew that he had to leave this matter to her. At this thought, Lin Rei could only compromise helplessly. Looking at the surroundings that had turned into trash, Lin Rei felt a headache coming on. Sigh. Forget it, who cares? As long as I build a house for you. Thinking about it, Lin Rei searched his mind for a spell that could do it. For a moment, everything that he had learned in his life flashed through his mind. Soon, a technique called the Earth Kuan Emperor method appeared. Looking at it, Lin Rei smiled. The Earth Kuan Emperor method was a technique. After cultivating it, coupled with the Earth Spirit root, one would be able to cast some spells. What he wanted was one of them. Seeing this, Lin Li didn't even hesitate before beginning to train in it. The requirements for the Earth Imperial Emperor's mantra weren't very high, and the highest level one could reach was the hierarch level. To Lin Li, this was a piece of cake. Time passed by little. Xia Feng looked at Lin Rei standing at the same place. The earth spirit chi around him quickly rushed into Lin Rei's body. The amount was so large that Xia Feng was speechless. At this moment, Lin Rei did not know that after the loud noise and abnormal movement, the entire Jade Prefecture, regardless of whether their cultivation was strong or not, was rushing towards the place where Lin Rei was at this moment. Even some of the cultivators who were close to Lin Rei had already seen the appearance of the big bird. As cultivators of the divine realm, they could still distinguish the appearance of a phoenix. At the same time, they also saw the relationship between the big bird and Lin Rei. At this moment, there was a group of people standing not far away, observing and waiting for an opportunity to make their move. Senior, please withdraw your pressure and we will leave immediately. Just as the scene fell silent, a middle-aged man dressed in luxurious clothes spoke in a low but loud voice. His face was pale, and a trace of blood leaked from the corner of his mouth. Upon hearing the voice, Xia Feng looked over. The moment she saw the middle-aged man, she understood that he was a peak mid-stage ultimate god cultivator. No wonder he could speak. Xia Feng nodded as she looked at him. She regained some of her composure. All right, I'll leave him be for now. However, I hope all of you will keep your promise. You are not allowed to come within 100 feet radius without my order. If you violate my order, I'll kill all of you no matter where you run to. After saying that, Xia Feng withdrew her pressure, but not her divine sense. She wanted to see if this group of people could disappear completely within 10 breaths of time. Run. The peak mid-stage ultimate god middle-aged man did not say anything as he unleashed his fastest speed the moment he felt the suppression on his body disappear. In just a breath's time, the man disappeared within 100 feet of him. However, he did not stop and continued to dash forward. Cheong City was very vast. The middle-aged man rushed from the east city to the west city before stopping. The others were not as fast as the middle-aged man. After all, not everyone could have the speed of a peak mid-stage ultimate god. At this moment, it was like a great escape. Regardless of their cultivation level, there was only one thought in their mind. That was to leave this place as soon as possible. Get lost, don't do that in front of me. I don't want to die even if you want to. Bastard, don't do that in front of me. I have parents and children to take care of. Don't push me. Motherf asterisk cur, what are you trying to do? At this moment, there was a commotion. Xia Feng frowned. She had forgotten to ask them to leave quietly when she spoke earlier. 4. Looking at the crowd, the evil phoenix spoke unhurriedly. However, at that moment, the crowd became even more excited and nervous. Their speed had reached a new height. Xia Feng wanted to say, "It's all thanks to me. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to increase your speed so quickly." Of course, Xia Feng would not say that. What she needed to do now was to count and clear the place so that they would not affect Lin Rei. 5. When the number 5 was spoken, the crowd felt that death was approaching. It was as if half of their bodies were already on the road to death. Get lost quickly. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Mother, it's me. I don't want to die. I regret it so much. I hate it. At this moment, the crowd hated that their parents did not give them an extra pair of legs. 6. When the number 6 was spoken, the scene became even more chaotic. Even Lin Rei, who was cultivating, felt the ground tremble. 7. 8. At this moment, the peak divine monarchs had all escaped. This kind of pleasure was unforgettable for them. As for the people with low cultivations, at this moment, they were even crazier. Their speed unexpectedly broke through in order to escape from this place that was about to become a land of Azura. Looking at them, Xia Feng snorted coldly. Her eyes were filled with coldness. It was as if the people in front of her were already dead. 9. No. I don't want to die. The people with low cultivations were basically certain of their fate at this moment. It seems that I have to kill people today. Seeing that there were still people trying to escape from the area he had set up, a bloodthirsty smile appeared on the evil phoenix's face. Then, his expression turned cold. 10. When the number 6 was spoken, Xia Feng's aura turned completely cold. She was like a piece of cold iron from the 9 nether. Looking at her would make people tremble in fear. Touching her would make people die. It's time to hunt. Looking at them, Xia Feng was stunned. Instantly, a murderous aura surged. She released her cultivation and disappeared from the spot in an instant. Hiss. When she did that, the people who had already reached a safe place gasped. Their faces were filled with fear. Accept your fate. At this moment, Xia Feng's voice came from behind an early-stage divine monarch cultivator. What? He was very familiar with this voice that frightened him. Just as the thought of escaping appeared in his mind, he felt that his body was no longer under his control. He collapsed to the ground. At this moment, the man's eyes widened. His eyes were filled with disbelief. At this moment, he still couldn't figure out how he died. Of course, besides disbelief, he was more regretful. He regretted his curiosity. If he hadn't been curious, he probably wouldn't have died. Not too far away from Linley, Chu Ci, who had just returned from the Bai clan, stared blankly at the slaughter before her eyes, her heart filled with shock. He couldn't believe it. Before he left, this place was bustling with life. But now, it had become a ruin and an Azura domain. At this moment, the moment she finished off one person, Xia Feng took the storage ring from his hand. Then, she immediately rushed to another person. There was no gap in time, only a breath's time. In a breath's time, she arrived next to the other person and killed him. Then, Xia Feng did the same as before. She took the storage ring of the other person and looked for another target. In this way, wherever Xia Feng passed, people would fall. One move. Everyone was hit by one move. The gap in time was always a breath's time, no matter how far away you were. Despair. When the people who were still escaping saw this scene, they were completely in despair. They didn't expect this mysterious woman to have such shocking combat strength. They wanted to escape, but they were powerless because they knew that no matter how they ran, the final result wouldn't change. The only result was death. Xia Feng seemed to never tire herself to death. At this moment, she had completely turned into a killing machine. Other than killing people and collecting storage rings, she didn't care about anything else. Ah! At this moment, screams came from the mouths of the people who were escaping. Those who were targeted by Xia Feng basically became the Grim Reaper's best friend before they could even scream. This scene caused the hearts of the people who had escaped to tremble. They were extremely terrified, and they even began to doubt how they had managed to survive in the past. Phew. At this moment, Lin Rei, who had cultivated the Earth Emperor technique, had reached the 8th level. It wouldn't be a problem for him to restore the ruins in front of him to its original state. At this moment, Lin Rei withdrew his spiritual energy. Then, he came back to his senses and released his consciousness. However, at this moment, Lin Rei was stunned. At this moment, Xia Feng's body flashed and appeared behind a young man. She raised her sword and killed that person. Then, she kept the storage ring and instantly appeared behind another person. The cycle repeated. When he saw Xia Feng's actions, Lin Rei was stunned. He didn't know why Xia Feng was doing this. Damn, who made her unhappy? She actually went to this extent. Lin Rei muttered in his heart. He knew that Xia Feng was doing this because of him. She was afraid that the crowd would disturb his call, so, seeing Xia Feng's killing intent, Lin Rei frowned. Then, his body flashed and disappeared from the spot. When he reappeared, he was already beside Xia Feng. At this moment, Xia Feng had already raised the butcher's sword in her hand and was about to chop the head of the old man. Bam! Just when the old man thought that he couldn't escape, he saw the soft, white, and blood-stained hand that was about to land on his head. Then, another hand appeared. And this hand magically grabbed the hand that was about to kill him tightly and firmly locked it in midair. It was only a pinky's length away from his head. He could see his own brain. Plop! At this moment, the old man, who felt that he was saved, fell limp to the ground. Something yellow and white oozed out of his crotch. Suddenly, the air was filled with a foul stench. Damn, you old man, why aren't you leaving? You actually came here to poop. Do you believe that I won't care anymore? When he asked about the strange smell in the air, Lin Rei frowned and scolded him. Say. Senior, it's not that I don't want to leave. It's just that my legs aren't listening to me anymore. The old man was helpless. He also wanted to leave, but he didn't have the ability to do so. What the F***ck? Seeing him like this, Lin Rei ignored him. Then, he looked up and saw Xia Feng, whose face was covered in blood, looking at him with a smile on her face. Lin Rei's body trembled. At this moment, he felt as if he was being stared at by the Grim Reaper. It was very uncomfortable. Alright, stop messing around. It's enough to kill so many people. Looking at her, Lin Rei let go of her hand. I know. Xia Feng nodded in response to Lin Rei's words and didn't continue to attack. Originally, she was afraid that those people would disturb Lin Rei's cultivation. Now that Lin Rei had woken up, there was no point in killing more people. As she spoke, Xia Feng casually waved her hand and a storage ring accurately fell into Lin Rei's hand. This is their storage ring. Although I know that these things are not important to you, they are useless to me. Lin Rei didn't refuse. However, Lin Rei didn't even look at the storage ring in his hand and put it into the system. Let's go and clean up your son's mess. Looking at Xia Feng, Lin Rei said helplessly. Then, he went to the center of the ruins. Looking at everything around him, Lin Rei supported himself with both hands. At this moment, he completely released his peak middle stage God Emperor cultivation. At this moment, Lin Rei circulated the earth attribute spiritual energy to the extreme. Gung plus Gui is the great grid, Gui's sun is the sun grid, heavenly Yi Fu palace, shocking shatter, rise. Hong long long, hong long long. Lin Rei shouted. Immediately, the earth attribute spiritual energy enveloped the entire ruins. Lin Rei started building according to the foundation of the houses. At this moment, houses with earth elemental spiritual energy appeared in an instant, and each of them was very beautiful. Chapter 727. Time passed quickly. In the blink of an eye, Lin Rei had conjured up all the houses that had been destroyed previously. Moreover, Lin Rei could guarantee that these houses were definitely better than the ones they had before. The spiritual energy of the Divine Emperor was not just for show. Moreover, it was Lin Rei's spiritual energy. One had to know that his spiritual energy was extremely pure. If the purity of spiritual energy was 100%, then his spiritual energy would definitely be 100% pure. Of course, this was also inseparable from the help of the little dragon and the system. Of course, most of it was still due to his own breakthrough back then. He had been compressing his spiritual energy to create his current state. Phew. It's finally done. In his divine sense, the houses that had been destroyed by the phoenix had all risen from the ground. But at the same time, because of such a large scale, Lin Rei had basically used up all the spiritual energy in his body. As a result, he was now extremely free. Looking at his own achievements, Lin Rei staggered and almost fell. Fortunately, Xia Feng, who was beside him, quickly supported him. Otherwise, he would have definitely fallen. Looking at Lin Rei's pale face, Xia Feng asked gently, "Are you all right?" I am fine. I just used too much spiritual energy in my body. I'll be fine after some rest. Lin Rei said with a smile. That's good. With that, Xia Feng supported Lin Rei and walked into the room behind her. According to the previous plan, this was the room that she had stayed in previously. In the room, Lin Rei came to the stone bed and sat cross-legged. Immediately, the spiritual energy within a radius of 10,000 meters disappeared at a speed visible to the naked eye. At this moment, more than 10 spiritual energy vortexes appeared around Lin Rei's body. The spiritual energy that had disappeared within a radius of 10,000 meters was now rushing into Lin Rei's body. There was so much spiritual energy that even Xia Feng, who had been guarding by his side, could not help but click her tongue at this moment. Although he had seen it before, at least that time was different from the current situation. Previously, he had only seen 7 or 8 spirit chi vortexes, but now, there were simply more than the previous time. At this time, Xia Feng looked at Lin Rei with a strange look in her eyes and started to speculate in her heart. Alas! I've followed you for so long, yet you still have so many secrets. I really don't know how many more surprises you will give me. Xia Feng smiled bitterly and didn't say anything. He then found a clean place and sat down cross-legged. With a wave of his hand, a barrier appeared and covered the room he was in. At this moment, even if a supreme god grumble cultivator tried to pry forcefully, they would probably be shocked and suffer an irreparable backlash in the end. In the blink of an eye, a day had passed. Night fell, and the vast moon hung in the sky. A cold wind blew past. At this moment, the outside of the room was still the same as before. It was like an azure battlefield. The corpses that had been killed by Xia Feng were not cleaned up at this moment. It was not that they did not want to, but they did not dare to approach. They were afraid that they would join the ranks of the dead. Such a bloody scene, coupled with the dark moon and strong wind, it was not an exaggeration to say that it was an azure battlefield. The path of the strong was originally a mountain of corpses, a sea of blood, and white bones. This was just the path after all to become a strong person. The weak were prey to the strong. If you were not strong and were killed, it was only the law of this world. You could not blame others. The saints said, survival of the fittest, and the unfit will be eliminated. All things in the world had karma and reincarnation. Everything was predestined. At the door of Lin Rei's room, Tianyu was standing there. She had some injuries on her body, but they were not very serious. Beside her, Yunkai and Chu Xi had already arrived at the door and stood there respectfully. In the room, Lin Rei, who had been cultivating for the whole afternoon, stopped. Suddenly, the dozens of spiritual vortexes around him disappeared in the air. Phew! Exhaling a mouthful of turbid air, he stood up and sensed that Xia Feng was meditating. Lin Rei smiled and did not disturb her. After all, Xia Feng's cultivation was not easy. Of course, he knew that it was useless for her to cultivate here. He walked to the door and opened it. At this moment, the three people standing outside heard the door. They immediately turned around and bowed respectfully. Tianyu, Chu Xi, and Yunkai greet the young master. He, all right, stand up. Looking at the three people, Lin Rei nodded. You're injured? Noticing that Tianyu's breathing was slightly weak and could even be said to be dispirited, Lin Rei frowned. He immediately thought of what the phoenix had done previously. With a thought, over 10 bottles of pills appeared in his hands. Looking at Tianyu, Lin Li said, of these pills, one of them is used for healing. The rest are all pills that can help increase one's cultivation level. On the bottle, it says when to use them. After saying that, Lin Rei stuffed the pills into Tianyu's hand without waiting for her to speak. He then continued, Yunkai, you're a girl, so it's easier for you to talk to Tianyu. Later, teach Tianyu your sex cultivation so that she can increase her cultivation quickly. Do you understand? Yes, young master. Yunkai understands. Thank you, young master. This servant will work hard to cultivate in the future. Yunkai was not dissatisfied with Lin Rei's arrangement. Her current achievements were all thanks to Lin Rei. Moreover, he had asked her to teach him the Danzong sex cultivation methods. All right, you can go now. Waving his hand, he dismissed them. Come with me. It's time to teach you alchemy. Lin Rei said calmly when he saw that Chu Xi was alone. Yes. At this moment, the happiest person was Chu Xi. This was because he was about to learn Lin Rei's alchemy skills. This was the most extravagant thing he had wished for in this period of time. With Chu Xi in tow, Lin Rei casually found an empty room and walked in. He then set up a grand level array to surround the room. This had almost become a habit of Lin Rei's. He was not used to being disturbed when he was refining pills. This was because not only would it cause the pill furnace to explode, but more importantly, his heart would ache for the spiritual herbs in the furnace. Every spiritual herb that he was refining could be said to be priceless. In the market, there was a price but no supply. Therefore, he did not want to waste them. As the saying goes, wasting is shameful. Lin Rei did not think that he was a shameful person. After finishing all the preparations, Lin Rei's mind moved and the worldly splendor instantly appeared in the room. At this moment, Lin Rei had compressed the worldly splendor, which was originally several feet long, to a size of 5 meters. Hiss. When the worldly splendor appeared, Chu Ci immediately sucked in a breath of cold air. His face was full of shock. As a disciple of alchemy, the moment the worldly splendor appeared, he saw how extraordinary it was. Heh. Don't be envious. If you want, after this matter is over, I will refine one for you. His tone was full of indifference, as if it was not a matter at all. Ah. Really? Chu Ci was stunned for a moment before his face was filled with joy and excitement. Yes, after all, as an alchemist, if you don't have a good alchemy furnace, it is extremely disrespectful to alchemy. At this moment, Lin Rei's expression was very solemn and sacred. Yes. Young master, I will continue to work hard. With motivation, Chu Ci felt that he had endless energy now. Looking at him, Lin Rei chuckled and said, "You should first refine a cauldron of pills that are already your limit. Let me see your alchemy skills and the depth of your attainments. This way, I will be able to target some things that you don't know and give you some nourishment during this time." Yes, young master. Chu Ci nodded and prepared to start refining. Young master, I will use your alchemy furnace to refine? Chu Ci probed. I will. Looking at him, Lin Rei inwardly rolled his eyes and was filled with helplessness. Nonsense, if you don't use mine, do you want to use yours? Oh. Chu Ci nodded and did not say anything else. He took out a set of spiritual herbs from his ring and began to refine. Boom, a ball of alchemy fire, which Lin Rei thought was decent, rushed into the sky under Chu Ci's spiritual energy and began the most important step of alchemy, preheating. Preheating was the most important thing for alchemy. If the alchemy furnace was not preheated, although it could still refine pills, such pills would not be eaten by dogs. More importantly, the pills refined in that way did not contain much spiritual qi. There was only a trace of it. Not bad, this is a good step. Looking at him, Lin Rei smiled and nodded. Not long after, the preheating of the alchemy furnace was completed and Chu Ci began to refine pills. The alchemy fire suddenly increased, and spiritual herbs were placed into the alchemy furnace in an orderly manner. Damn, this is too. Lin Rei could not help but cover his eyes at this scene, unable to bear to look at it. He did not expect Chu Ci to be so old-fashioned and inflexible, completely following the order of the alchemy recipe. AI. Sighing, Lin Li didn't continue watching. This was because he knew that if he continued to refine pills like this, the final result wouldn't be anything special. Not to mention the pill veins, even the medicinal effects would be greatly reduced. Lin Rei did not need to watch this kind of alchemy technique. 3 hours later, with a wang sound, the alchemy furnace trembled and a strange sound was heard. Lin Rei knew that Chu Ci had successfully refined the pill. Hee, young master, I've refined it, look. At this moment, holding his pill, Chu Ci excitedly walked over to Lin Rei. However, when he raised his head and saw Lin Rei's calm expression, the fire in his heart was instantly extinguished. AI. Looking at Chu Ci, Lin Li sighed and said, Chu Ci, your alchemy skills, that's not right. This isn't alchemy at all. You're simply taking what your predecessors have already eaten and eating. How can you refine a good pill like this? Moreover, it took you 3 hours to refine this pill. Tell me, you have the face to smile. Lin Rei said without any trace of politeness. After saying that, Lin Rei took the mid-grade emperor-level Huangji pill from Chu Ci's hands and said with disdain and ridicule, this kind of trash, I was able to refine 8 pill veins on my first try. On my second try, I was able to refine 10 pill veins. After that, it has always been 10 pill veins. After saying that, Lin Rei did not waste any time and crushed the pill. Then, according to the formula of the Huangji pill, he picked out a portion from his ring. Boom, in an instant, the illusory spirit blood fire rushed out of Lin Rei's palm. Under Lin Rei's urging, the illusory spirit blood fire entered the heaven and earth splendor. The cauldron had been preheated before, so there was no need to waste any energy. Then, spiritual power surged out of Jing Lei's left hand and he threw all the spiritual herbs needed to refine the Huangji pill into the universe. Watch. He told Chu Ci beside him and then began to urge with all his strength. A few minutes later, more than 30 drops of pi liquid were floating in the cauldron. All the impurities were catalyzed, leaving only the essence of the spiritual herb. Melt for me. He shouted coldly. Without hesitation, he immediately made a pill seal. In the heaven and earth splendor, more than 30 drops of pi liquid began to merge. Hiss. Chu Ci, who had been watching, gasped. Her eyes were full of endless admiration and admiration. In the cauldron, more than 30 drops of pi liquid had merged into a ball. Then, a small drop of pi liquid broke down at this moment. 1 became 2, 2 became 4, 4 became 6, and finally 24 drops. Pill formation. Linley let out a loud shout, and the droplets of pyrolite began to slowly coalesce into round, glossy pearls, forming into pills. Ha! A few minutes later, the pills were formed. The fragrance of the pills wafted out and filled the whole room. 9 Dragons Pill Formation Technique. Buzz. The pill was formed. The moment Lin Rei withdrew the illusory spirit blood fire, 24 streams of light rushed out of the cauldron and finally landed in front of Lin Rei, floating in the air. On each of the round and smooth pills, there were 10 distinct pill inscriptions on each of them. The whole process took less than 20 minutes, and a furnace of middle-grade emperor-level pills with 10 pill veins appeared. Did you see that? You used 3 hours to refine such simple pills. You should know how many of these pills you can refine in 3 hours. At this time, Chu Ci was very ashamed. He even wanted to find a hole to hide in and never come out again. Okay, enough nonsense. Now, I will teach you the pill formation technique, the pill fusion technique, and the pill formation technique. Finally, I will give you a trace of the illusory spirit blood fire. I hope you can refine it in 2 days. Of course, this is the best result. However, there is one thing I can tell you in advance. The process of refining the illusory spirit blood fire is very dangerous. As he spoke, Linley glanced at Chu Ci. Seeing that he wasn't the slightest bit afraid, he continued, because the temperature of my flames is extremely high, even a tiny bit of it is of an extremely high level. Most likely, none of the doubts of the deity realm can compare to it. Hiss. Hearing this, Chu Ci frowned and his eyes widened in disbelief. At the same time, there was a voice in his heart that kept telling him that if he gave up this opportunity, his future achievements in the field of alchemy would be completely stagnant. Chapter 728. So, are you still willing? Lin Rei asked indifferently while looking at Chu Ci. Lin Rei didn't force him to make this choice. After all, he had experienced the terror of the illusory spirit blood fire. However, that was because he had the little dragon by his side to protect him. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to achieve what he had now. As the saying goes, one can become a Buddha or a demon with a single thought. Of course, the benefits were very obvious. If you could get through it, you would become a god. If you couldn't, you would become a cold corpse. Phew. At this moment, Chu Ci's face was full of seriousness. He said in a low voice, "Young master, I have thought about it. I want it, no matter what the price is. Moreover, I believe I can get through it." Looking at his confidence, Lin Rei chuckled. Alas. All right, since you have made your choice, I will do my best to protect you and make you suffer less. But, you must remember that the process of absorbing and refining the illusory spirit blood fire is very painful and you can't faint. Because if you faint, you will never wake up. Yes, I understand, young master. I am ready. Chu Ci was very determined. He wanted to absorb the illusory spirit blood fire. He wanted to become an expert in alchemy. He wanted to protect the people he loved. Therefore, he had to do this. Looking at the stubborn look in his eyes, Lin Rei was stunned. Then, he nodded. All right, then, let's begin. As he spoke, a pill with cold air appeared in Lin Rei's hand. Looking at Chu Xi in front of him, Lin Rei's face was very serious. Chu Xi, this is the Ice Cloud pill. It is a high-grade zone-level pill. It can help you suppress the illusory spirit blood fire. Of course, although I don't know the effect, it is better than nothing. Eat it. As he spoke, the pill was placed in front of Chu Xi. At this moment, Chu Xi didn't argue. He nodded to Lin Rei and swallowed the pill without hesitation. Hiss. As the medicinal pill entered her mouth, a strange sound suddenly occurred, and a layer of frost began to spread on the surface of Chu Xi's body. Not only that, at this moment, Chu Xi could feel that her internal organs were currently being corroded by the medicinal power of the frozen cloud pill. Seeing his internal organs being frozen bit by bit, Chu Xi became anxious. Even if he was beaten to death, he would never have thought that this pill would be so powerful. One had to know that he was a genuine middle-stage God Emperor expert, yet now, he was being tortured to this extent by a single zone-grade pill. Actually, if it was an ordinary frozen cloud elixir, it would be fine as it wouldn't cause any harm to a god the Arch-Realm cultivator. However, the frozen cloud elixir that Lin Rei refined had 10 elixir markings on it. This kind of elixir could already be said to be perfect. Its medicinal strength was naturally more than 10 times that of an ordinary elixir. Therefore, Lin Rei had already expected that Chu Xi would be like this. Ah, that's the effect I want. At this moment, Lin Rei, who was standing in front of Chu Xi, chuckled as he saw Chu Xi's vitality slowly fading away. Immediately after, the illusory spirit blood fire rushed out of Lin Rei's palm. At this moment, the temperature in the room that was originally filled with cold air started to rise gradually the moment the illusory spirit blood fire appeared. And at this moment, Chu Xi, who was being tortured by the frozen cloud elixir to the point of shivering, felt the heat coming from the outside world. Immediately, she realized that this should be the effect of the illusory spirit blood fire. Separate. At this moment, Lin Rei shouted. A small strand of illusory spirit blood fire was separated from the whole body and wrapped by Lin Rei's spiritual energy. The moment that strand of illusory spirit blood fire was separated, the ball of illusory spirit blood fire was absorbed into Lin Rei's body. It's about to start. Conceal your spirit and protect your spiritual platform. You can't cut off your avatar. Once Chu Xi's spiritual energy was sent out. Understood. According to Lin Rei's instructions, she operated her cultivation technique and adjusted herself to the best state. Go. So, the strand of illusory spirit blood fire wrapped by Lin Rei's spiritual energy drilled into Chu Xi's body in an instant. Hong, the moment the illusory spirit blood fire entered Chu Xi's body, strands of green smoke were emitted from the surface of Chu Xi's body as if something was on fire. Ah! A miserable scream came out of Chu Xi's mouth, echoing throughout the entire room. Perhaps because Lin Li had set up a formation around the room, Chu Xi's miserable scream was completely unable to pass through the room. At this moment, even though Chu Xi had the support of the frozen cloud elixir, the illusory spirit blood fire was the most terrifying fire seed in the world. If not for Chu Xi being a middle-stage god emperor, Lin Rei would not give it to her. It was not that Lin Rei was unwilling, but he was afraid that the illusory spirit blood fire would burn Chu Xi into ashes. But at this moment, Chu Xi did not seem any better. Even though he was not burned into ashes, the veins on his forehead were bulging, and a strand of light was swimming in his meridians. Damn! Sensing this, Lin Li let out a sigh. Alas! Seems like I've underestimated the illusory spirit blood fire. I thought he could withstand a strand of it, but now it seems. Muttering, Lin Rei frowned. At this moment, he was very distressed. If he had known this, he would not have been so anxious. But there was no other way. Now that he was riding a tiger, it was too late to take it back. Looking at Chu Ci, Lin Rei did not hide his strength. He took out an ice spirit bead. "AI. You brat, you've really picked up a big bargain. Tisk tsk. I'm not willing to use this thing, but I didn't expect to use it on you," Lin Rei said reluctantly. "AI." With a sigh, he stuffed the ice spirit bead into Chu Ci's mouth as fast as lightning to suppress the temperature of the illusory spirit blood fire. "Quick, circulate the ice spirit bead's cold air and freezing air. While the illusory spirit blood fire is being suppressed, quickly refine it." At this moment, Chu Ci, who was suffering great torment, heard Lin Rei's voice transmission. Immediately, he did not dare to delay. He circulated the ice spirit blood fire to the extreme, channeling the cold air into his mouth, and began to confront the strand of illusory spirit blood fire. At this moment, one was hot and the other was cold. At this moment, Chu Ci felt that he was going to die. He did not expect that it would be so powerful. At the same time, if he did not give it his all, he could only admit defeat and be burned into ashes. Suppress. Ah. With a roar, endless cold air rushed into his meridians, and started a chase with the illusory spirit blood fire. While Chu Ci was working hard, Lin Rei in the outside world naturally did not stop. At this moment, Chu Ci was thinking about what kind of pills could be used to help the current situation. However, after thinking for a long time, he still could not think of anything. After all, these pills were given to him by the little dragon. Although some of them were pills that he had developed himself, most of them were for improving one's physical strength, mental strength, and soul power. At this moment, Lin Rei was regretting. If he had known this would happen, he would have asked the little dragon for more. No, I remember that I still have a scripture pavilion. At this moment, Lin Rei suddenly remembered that the system had been revived and opened the scripture pavilion. In an instant, Lin Rei's worried expression was swept away. Without thinking, he entered the system and teleported to the entrance of the scripture pavilion. Damn! It's so big. At this moment, standing in front of the scripture pavilion, Lin Rei was shocked. To be honest, this was his first time. If it weren't for the fact that he was looking for a solution for Chu Ci, Lin Rei would have forgotten about it. At this moment, on the signboard above his head, the 3 words Scripture Pavilion were glowing brightly. Lin Li could sense the pressure emanating from those 3 words. Lin Rei knew that he did not have the ability to confront this pressure because the strength of this pressure made him feel inferior. Even if he rode a peace show, he would not be able to catch up. He reached out and pushed the door. In an instant, the moment he entered, a fragrant smell came. Immediately, Lin Rei's mind was refreshed, as if he had been baptized by this fragrance. Damn, this is such a good place. Why did I only come now? Looking at the bookshelves in front of him and the dazzling array of jade slips on them, Lin Rei was mad with joy. Of course, although he was secretly laughing, he knew his mission this time. Thinking of this, Lin Rei shook his head and threw these random thoughts to the back of his mind. Then, he began to spread his consciousness. The names of the jade slips quickly floated through Lin Rei's mind. There were saint-level cultivation techniques, divine-level cultivation techniques, everything. There were even cultivation techniques from the untainted era, such as Time Mirror and Wheel of Time. These were the cultivation techniques of the time and space demon god among the 3,000 demon gods in the untainted era. As the saying goes, time is king and space is emperor. Mastering 2 types of cultivation techniques and laws could be said to be an invincible existence in this world. Of course, this kind of cultivation technique required talent, comprehension, spiritual root, physical body, and so on. These were the basic conditions to practice this cultivation technique. After all, the current human beings did not have a strong physique like the ones born by heaven and earth. Looking at these, he basically glanced through them and only paused for a moment on the time and space cultivation techniques. Then, he continued to search. Time passed little by little. Lin Rei's consciousness had been cultivated before. The consciousness of an emperor god was boundlessly powerful. Even a peak ultimate god cultivator would not dare to say that his consciousness was stronger than Lin Rei's. Perhaps only a saint realm cultivator could be compared to Lin Rei's consciousness. However, even with such a strong consciousness, he still could not find anything after searching for such a long time. He even felt that he had only searched the tip of the iceberg in this scripture depository. Moreover, he sensed that his divine sense had extended for thousands of miles, and all the bookshelves within this area were full of cultivation methods. He didn't see a single book about combat methods, footwork, strange records, alchemy, formations, talismans, or weapon refinement. Seeing this, Chindan had a headache. He really wanted to stay and read slowly, but Chu Ci outside could not afford to wait. System, tell me, is there any way to help Chu Ci absorb that trace of illusory spirit blood fire? Helplessly, the only solution so far was to ask the system. Of course, asking questions came with a price, and the price Lin Rei had to pay was something he was very unwilling to hear. Hee, I thought you wouldn't look for me. The system laughed. However, this laughter was very sinister in Lin Rei's eyes. But there was no other way. How is that possible? How can I not want to ask for advice from an omnipotent system like you? At this time, Lin Rei's tone was very sincere. However, fortunately, the system knew Lin Rei's character. Otherwise, it would have been deceived by his tone and appearance. Alright, same old rules. The system said helplessly, 1 million exchange points. If you can, I'll tell you. If not, you can find it here yourself. Damn it. The voice of 1 million was like a divine thunder hammer, heavily pounding on Lin Rei's heart. 1 million was very important to Lin Rei. Moreover, he might not even have 1 million at the moment. Huff. He let out a long sigh and recovered from the shock in his heart. He looked up and said calmly, I'll give it to you. As soon as he said that, the system laughed and said, I knew you would agree. Hearing this, Lin Rei was speechless. Ding dong, do you want to deduct 1 million exchange points for the method to help Chu Ci? Yes or no? Hearing this song, Lin Rei's mood was very bad, but there was no other way. Yes. Ding dong, the transaction is successful. The method is to find the owner of the illusory spirit blood fire to suppress it and add a high-grade venerable level 9 transformation cloud pill. Stunned, confused, dumbfounded, stunned. At this moment, various expressions flashed across Lin Rei's face. You. Coming back to his senses, Lin Rei thought of the method that the system said. For a moment, he was so angry that his whole body trembled. His voice was so shaky that he could not speak. He could only say, you. As if he was stuttering. Boy, what are you? You have the illusory spirit blood fire. Don't you know how to suppress it? Moreover, the 9 transformation cloud pill is a best grade healing pill. Swallowing the illusory spirit blood fire will cause irreparable damage to the body and meridians. The 9 transformation cloud pill can heal injuries. Wouldn't these 2 methods allow that kid, Chu Ci, to pass through safely? At this point, the system seemed to be teaching Lin Li a lesson. Yes, system, you are really ruthless. 1 million exchange points, you. Oh, okay, go quickly. *CK, that little guy outside is about to die. If you are late, I'm afraid he will be burned up by the illusory spirit blood fire. The system urged. What? Lin Rei was shocked. At this moment, he felt guilty. Just now, he was quarreling with the system and completely forgot about Chu Ci's current situation. In an instant, Lin Rei withdrew from the system. He saw that there was already smoke rising from Chu Si's head. It was a sign that she was about to catch fire. Lin Rei felt that the ice spirit bead that he stuffed into Chu Si's mouth had disappeared. F***ck, I didn't expect that just a trace of the illusory spirit blood fire would be so strong. Even a heavenly treasure like the ice spirit bead is nothing. With that, Lin Rei did not talk nonsense. He knew that if he delayed any longer, Chu Si would really be beyond saving. Bang! In the next moment, Lin Rei released his cultivation. His right hand was covered in spiritual energy and was already on Chu Si's back. Chapter 729. Suppress it. In an instant, a huge amount of spiritual energy poured into Chu Si's body and began to suppress the illusory spirit blood fire in his body. At this moment, his other hand was not idle. His divine sense searched the storage ring for the elixir needed to refine the 9 revolving water cloud pill. Fortunately, Lin Rei had collected a lot of experience in the past. Otherwise, Chu Si's life might have really been lost here. After removing the formula of the 9 revolving water cloud pill, the illusory spirit blood fire rushed out of his body and into the furnace. At this moment, Lin Rei did not dare to stay. After preheating the furnace, he hurriedly threw the elixir into the furnace according to the formula of the 9 revolving water cloud pill and began to refine it. The process of refining, fusing, and forming the pill could be said to be as smooth as flowing water. It was done in a single breath without the slightest pause. What was even more shocking was that throughout the entire process, Lin Li helped Chu Si suppress the illusory spirit blood fire while forming pill seals with his hands. It was extremely smooth and extremely fast. One had to know that the 9 revolving water cloud pill was a high-grade venerable level pill. The whole process took less than half an hour to complete. Of course, refining with one hand was naturally not as good as refining with 2 hands. Only 7 elixir patterns appeared on the elixir. Seeing this, Lin Rei sighed in disappointment and said, "Alas. It seems that I have to practice more in the future." If there were other alchemists of the same level as him, if they heard what he said, they would definitely chase after Lin Li all over the world. At this moment, Lin Rei was suppressing the illusory spirit blood fire in Chu Si's body while refining the high-grade venerable level elixir. Both were very good for the body. It would be very difficult for a cultivator who did not have a very good mental strength to do so. Moreover, the whole process took less than half an hour. Even a high-grade venerable level alchemist would be ashamed of their inferiority at this speed. With a sigh, he immediately pinched the elixir and sent it to Chu Si's mouth. He transmitted his voice, "Open your mouth and eat the elixir." Hearing this in his consciousness, Chu Si cooperated and opened his mouth. Suddenly, a chill entered his mouth. Before he could feel it, the chill went down his throat and traveled to his chest until it finally spread to every part of his body. The wounds that were burned by the illusory spirit blood fire have begun to heal. Chu Si came to a realization. With such an effect, other than healing pills, there couldn't be anything else. Don't relax. Next, you have to refine it with all your might. I'll help you suppress it. Remember, you have to be quick. A day has already passed. You still have one more day. All right. Hearing this, Chu Si responded in his heart. Immediately after, he circulated his cultivation technique to the maximum. At this moment, he realized that the illusory spirit blood fire that had been invading his meridians in a tyrannical manner had suddenly calmed down, as if it had sensed something that terrified it. Seeing this, Chu Si seized the opportunity and began to surround the illusory spirit blood fire to refine it. At this moment, Chu Si felt very relaxed. Although pain was unavoidable, every time she was burned, there would be a cooling sensation that would heal her. The cycle repeated endlessly. In the blink of an eye, 2 more paths had passed. This time, the estimated time was 1 day longer. However, there was no other way. There were too many detours on the first day. Moreover, what made Lin Rei's heart ache the most was that he had lost 1 million exchange points. Phew. Sitting cross-legged and refining the illusory spirit blood fire, Chu Ci let out a long sigh. A trace of a smile appeared on his face, but his eyebrows were filled with fatigue. However, it was undeniable that Chu Ci was very relaxed at this moment. Because the dangerous time had passed. Moreover, just now, he had completely refined the illusory spirit blood fire and integrated it into his own alchemic fire. Oh. It's finally over. Lin Rei sighed. Thank you, young master. At this moment, Chu Ci heard Lin Rei's voice behind him. Immediately, he jumped up and bowed deeply to Lin Rei. His face was filled with gratitude. Alas! What am I doing? This is what you deserve. However, I didn't expect that this trace of illusory spirit blood fire would be so strong. It seems that I can't casually give the fire to others in the future. Otherwise, my old bones will be exhausted. As he spoke, Lin Li didn't forget to cooperate. He bent backwards, and instantly, the sound of bones cracking could be heard. F***ck. In response, Lin Rei could not stop cursing. Ha. Xie Feng chuckled when he saw his young master's reaction. He didn't say anything else and simply stood there. Chu Ci's action fell into Lin Rei's mind. Suddenly, Lin Rei said to him snappily, I say, since you've obtained the illusory spirit blood fire, hurry up and refine the elixir. Let me see how much progress you've made. What are you doing there? Oh. Okay. I'll refine it right away. Chu Ci replied immediately. Then, Chu Ci sat cross-legged and took out a set of elixir formula for the upper-grade Emperor-level Heaven Cloud elixir. Boom! The moment the elixir fire appeared, the temperature in the surroundings began to rise rapidly. Lin Rei, who had been observing Chu Ci's elixir fire, found that there were traces of blood-red flames in his elixir fire. Feeling Chu Ci's elixir fire at this moment, Lin Rei's face revealed a smile that no one knew. He watched as Chu Ci began to make pills. Although her movements were the same as before, Lin Li could tell that the pills that Chu Ci was concocting now had a pill pattern on them. This was already enough. With this kind of progress, as long as Chu Ci's flaws in alchemy and some other flaws in alchemy were fixed, he believed that Chu Ci's alchemy would at least have 4 or 5 alchemy veins. Of course, this was just a guess. He had not seen Chu Ci's performance 10 days later. Time passed little by little. Lin Rei's mind was constantly paying attention to Chu Ci's elixir refining technique in his own cauldron. Buzz! A white light rushed out of the cauldron. Lin Rei knew that the elixir was refined. Swoosh! The white light rushed out of the cauldron and landed in the elixir bottle that Chu Ci had prepared. Chu Ci did not check the elixir he refined immediately. Instead, he closed the lid and came to Lin Rei's side to hand the bottle to Lin Rei. Young master, this is the elixir I refined. Please take a look. Chu Ci said timidly. Sigh. Lin Rei did not want to say anything more to Chu Ci's reaction. He picked up the bottle and scanned it with his consciousness. At this moment, a white elixir was lying in the bottle. The medicinal fragrance was rich. Lin Rei nodded in satisfaction. On the surface of the elixir was an extremely conspicuous elixir pattern. As expected. At this moment, Lin Rei was a little more certain about Chu Ci's elixir refining. Alright, take a look for yourself. With that, Lin Rei casually tossed the bottle to Chu Ci. Hiss. Chu Ci caught the bottle. Not long after, he sucked in a breath of cold air. His face was filled with shock and disbelief. The elixir pattern, I refined an elixir pattern. I refined an elixir pattern. At this moment, Chu Ci's eyes were wet with excitement. Seeing him so excited, Lin Rei couldn't help but smile. However, this smile was fleeting. Chu Ci did not notice it at all. At this moment, all of his attention was on the elixir. He was as happy as a 1,000-year-old child. After a few minutes, seeing that Chu Ci was still as excited as before, Lin Rei couldn't help but reprimand him. What, you're satisfied with just this? You think you're amazing? It's good to be happy, but don't be blindly happy. The reason you can refine an elixir with an elixir pattern is all because of that trace of illusory spirit blood fire. Remember, you haven't learned anything about alchemy at all. Don't be as inflexible as you were before. Don't be as stubborn as you were before. Don't be as stubborn as you were before. At this moment, Chu Ci was silent. The pride, excitement, and disbelief from before had completely disappeared. At this moment, there was only shame, endless shame. I was wrong, don't say anything else to me. I just want to ask if I can study elixir refining and elixir in the next 10 days. If I can't, then... Lin Rei knew what Chu Ci wanted to say and didn't give him a chance to shut up. Yes, I can. Chu Ci said firmly. Good, in that case, let's begin. Seeing that Chu Ci had returned to his attitude when refining the illusory spirit blood fire, Lin Rei smiled and said, I want you to refine that elixir 20 times. Remember, the elixir recipe is for your reference. Learn and apply it flexibly, understand? Yes. Yes. Chu Ci said with a guilty conscience. With that, a battle of elixir refining began. Seeing Chu Ci working so hard, Lin Rei went to the side. He didn't have the opportunity to refine the elixir 20 times anyway. It would take a lot of time, probably a day. Since he had nothing to do, Lin Rei retreated to the side and began to comprehend formations. The Tao of formations was very strange and could be said to be ever-changing. At this moment, as a venerable grade formation master, it was extremely difficult for Lin Rei to take another step forward. Asterisk boom, wang, boom, asterisk wang. In this way, the room would be filled with the sound of elixir refining every hour or so. This sound lasted for a day and a night. However, what was worth celebrating was that after Chu Ci continuously refined pills, his speed of refining pills had also increased by quite a bit. Originally, refining an upper-grade emperor-grade elixir would take 1.5 hours, but after he kept refining, the time became shorter and shorter. In the end, he finished refining in an hour. At this time, the first task given to him by Lin Rei was also completed. In the blink of an eye, a day had passed. Phew. Lin Li had been using a strand of divine sense to observe Chu Ci this entire time. After Chu Ci finished her 20th attempt, Lin Li withdrew from his meditative state. How is it? What's the result? Hearing Lin Rei's question, Chu Ci replied, Young master, I can already refine 2 elixir patterns. At this time, Chu Ci was not as excited as before. Instead, she was full of calmness. Her face was very calm and indifferent. Seeing how calm and unhurried he was, Lin Li nodded in satisfaction. Remember, the pill formula may not necessarily be correct. But as an alchemist, you can't succeed overnight. You have to learn to be flexible. Now that you understand these things, in addition to the 3 alchemy techniques I've imparted to you, I trust that in 10 days, you will have made significant progress. Yes, young master, I will remember. In this regard, Chu Ci nodded seriously and then waited for the next instruction. That's it. I'll give you 5 days to refine 4 Dan veins for me. After that, you'll use another 2 days to refine all kinds of Dan veins for me. After that, you'll use the remaining 2 days to learn how to mix and fuse spirit herbs. This is the most basic knowledge for an alchemist. However, it is often the most basic thing. It is indeed the most important thing to learn. Do you remember? Understood, I will start now. Saying that, Chu Ci quickly sat down and began to refine elixirs. Looking at her determined back, Lin Rei smiled. Then, He took out an elixir containing elixirs for refining upper grade and supreme grade elixirs from the system and placed it beside Chu Ci. Then, Lin Rei began to meditate again. He had helped Chu Ci as much as he could. Now, it was up to Chu Ci's own efforts. Bang, wang, wang, time passed little by little. In the blink of an eye, there was only one day left before the alchemy conference. At this moment, in the entire Jade City, the upper echelons of all the major sects had arrived. However, in the area where Lin Rei lived, no one dared to make a ruckus. But beyond that, there was a hubbub of voices and it was bustling. This alchemy conference was very grand and luxurious. The entire alchemy guild was busy. In Lin Rei's room, at this moment, Lin Rei woke up from his meditation. He stood up and stretched his body. Then, he looked at Chu Ci with his divine sense. At this moment, Chu Ci was still refining elixirs. In the past few days, Lin Rei had been paying attention to Chu Ci. Chu Ci was able to refine upper-grade emperor-grade elixirs without exploding his furnace. However, when refining supreme-grade elixirs, Chu Ci's furnace still exploded several times. Moreover, the explosion was very loud. Even Lin Rei was awakened by the explosion. However, he soon went back to meditating. These past few days had been extremely torturous for Chu Ci. Aside from alchemy, there was nothing else she could do. In general, her alchemy skills had improved by leaps and bounds. Not only that, but even her control over her flames had improved. For this, Chu Ci's gratitude and respect for Lin Li grew even greater. Looking at Chu Ci, Lin Rei did not wake her up. Instead, he came to her side and picked up the elixirs on the ground. Oh, it seems that 4 elixir veins have been stabilized. 5 elixir veins have been refined. Not bad. You can be taught. Looking at the pile of elixir bottles in front of him, Lin Rei nodded with gratification. However, if you can fix all the bad habits and add to your alchemy experience, you may be able to refine better elixirs. However, it's enough for tomorrow's alchemy conference. Wang. At this moment, the roar of the elixir furnace was heard. In response, Lin Rei's face revealed a smile. Phew, finally refined. Fortunately, the furnace did not explode this time. Chu Ci said to herself. Chapter 730. How was it? What's the result? Lin Rei asked from behind Chu Ci. Ah. Young master. Chu Ci, who was in a state of excitement after successfully refining the pill, was startled when he heard Lin Rei's voice. He quickly stood up and greeted respectfully. All right, what pill did you refine that made you so excited? Tell me about it. Lin Rei asked curiously. To tell the truth, Lin Li had already guessed what pill Chu Ci had refined when he asked about the pill fragrance in the air. He had only said this to indirectly praise Chu Ci. Yes. Young master. Chu Ci quickly replied, it's the heavenly stellar pill, a top-grade emperor-level pill. It's used to give a body refinement cultivator an opportunity to break through, an heavenly stellar pill. TSK, not bad at all. Lin Rei was naturally familiar with the pill formula and effects of the heavenly stellar pill, so he didn't wait for Chu Ci to finish speaking before interrupting him. Give it to me, let me see its quality. Lin Rei stretched out his hand and asked. Yes, young master. Chu Ci didn't hesitate at all. She respectfully handed the pill in her hand to Lin Li, asking for his guidance. Receiving the pill, Lin Rei scanned it with his divine sense. Immediately, 4 pill veins appeared and the medicinal fragrance was very rich. The finished product was 3/10 of his own. Seeing this, Lin Rei smiled and muttered in his heart, brat, luckily I didn't waste my 1 million exchange points, otherwise, would have ripped you apart. Although he said this in his heart, he didn't show it on his face. Not bad, but remember, don't be impatient. There's still a long way to go. After this alchemy conference, go into seclusion for 100 years. If you can't break through 9 pill veins and become a low-grade emperor-level alchemist, then go to the ancient corpse vault and feed the corpse king. Do you hear me? Ah. Chu Si's face was already gloomy. The mission Lin Rei gave him was difficult for most people to accomplish, but Lin Rei believed in him. He believed that he could do it, and even do better, as long as he worked hard. As a result, he made this request so that he could reach his standards faster so that he could enter the saints' world in the future. He could also leave some of the matters here to him. This was Lin Rei's recognition, trust, and affirmation of him. At the same time, this was also a kind of responsibility, a responsibility that could not be shirked. Seeing him like this, Lin Rei's face darkened. What? You don't want to? If you don't want to, I can. No, I'm willing. Hearing Lin Rei's words, Chu Si was shocked and hurriedly accepted. At the same time, Chu Si was vexed. He didn't know if his 100 years of beauty was enough, because breaking through to the first level of alchemy was no joke. As an alchemist, he was very clear about this. Lin Rei naturally knew about Chu Si's worries, but he didn't say anything. Alright, you'll spend the next day familiarizing yourself with it. Tomorrow, beat those trash to the ground and let them know what alchemy is. Do you understand? Lin Rei said proudly. Yes, I understand. A trace of a smile appeared on Chu Si's face. Lin Li's words just now indicated that he had already acknowledged his pill refining skills. Thus, how could he not be excited? Go. Glancing at him, Chu Si waved his hand and removed all the formations in the surroundings, allowing him to leave. Lin Rei himself sat on the bed and looked at Chu Si's back. After leaving his room, Lin Rei once again sealed his room with a formation. In the room, Lin Rei sighed and came to the side of the alchemy furnace. Looking at the heaven and earth Huayu, Lin Rei sighed. Huayu, you've been with me for so many years. Now that I don't need a furnace for my alchemy realm, following me will only make you feel wronged. The moment it heard Lin Rei's words, the heaven and earth Huayu shook violently, as if it was saying, it's not wronged. I'm very happy to follow you, even if I can't refine pills, as long as I follow you. Sigh. Feeling the heaven and earth Huayu's aura, Lin Rei hurriedly said, No, you're my comrade, my brother, and my assistant. I know very well what an alchemy furnace will become if it's not influenced by alchemy aura. Moreover, it's time for me to help you level up. Whing. The sudden trembling startled Lin Rei. He hurriedly reached out and circulated his spiritual energy to calm it down. Alright, this matter is settled. You've seen that young man just now. I believe he won't humiliate you in the future. Moreover, he already has my illusory spirit blood fire. Although it's only a little, but he's always been good. I believe he'll have great achievements in the alchemy realm in the future. I believe he'll definitely make your name known throughout the divine world and even the holy world. As he spoke, Lin Li took out the Empyrean sand from his storage ring, as well as the violet gold meteorite iron and some extremely precious forging materials. Lin Li had collected all of these over the years, and some of them had been found in the storage rings of others. At this moment, any one of the refining materials in Lin Rei's hands would cause rivers of blood to flow and mountains of corpses to form a sea of blood. This was because the items here were priceless and couldn't be bought. Moreover, some of the items here couldn't even be found in the divine world. It was conceivable that if these items appeared in the divine world, the consequences would be unimaginable. Today, I'll successfully promote you to a supreme-grade divine artifact. I'll let you enjoy endless admiration. Lin Rei said excitedly as he looked at the heaven and earth Huayu in front of him. Whing. The heaven and earth Huayu shook twice. This time, Lin Rei could feel that the heaven and earth Huayu was full of excitement. It seemed that it had accepted his proposal. Seeing this, Lin Rei smiled. I hope the supreme grade divine artifact can produce a good spirit. Boom, the mirage bloodfire suddenly charged out of his body. Staring at the blazing, heart-shaking flames, Linley didn't hesitate at all. He immediately tossed the Empyrean sand and the violet gold meteorite into the mirage bloodfire, beginning to remove the impurities. The purple gold meteoric iron was a sacred-grade material. Even Lin Ray himself didn't have much of it. Moreover, it was a reward from the system when he completed a task in the past. Originally, he wanted to upgrade the Martial Emperor Divine Spear. However, thinking that he had already given the spear to his son, he didn't touch it. So, the purple gold meteoric iron was left in the ring. PFFF. PFFF. PFFF, as a saint-level material, it was not easy to refine the purple gold meteorite iron. If it was an ordinary flame, a core flame, or a heavenly flame, it would take at least 5 days or even longer to refine the purple gold meteorite iron. However, Linley's illusory spirit blood fire was a type of flame of extreme een in the world. As the only one in the world, how could those small exotic flames with spiritual intelligence be compared to it? Time passed bit by bit. 3 hours later, there were no signs of me melting at first, but now, there were finally signs of me melting. Ah. Well, there's still one night. I hope I can make it in time. Lin Ray looked outside and became anxious. The reason he had done this was so that he could give the worldly Huayu to Chu Ci. Originally, Linley had been thinking of casually giving him a deity-level pill furnace, but after some thought, he decided against it. In the end, he thought of his own worldly Huayu, which was why this scene had occurred. Slowly, while the purple gold meteoric iron was being refined, Lin Ray said that he would refine it for 10 hours. He waited from day to evening. At this time, the purple gold meteoric iron was finally completely melted. The impurities in it were also completely removed. Seeing the pure violet molten iron appear, Linley couldn't help but feel extremely excited. Hee, now let's watch this noble one show off. As he spoke, Linley placed the violet molten metal into the container he had prepared. And then, he tossed all of the remaining top-grade divine artifacts into the illusory bloodfire. Once more, he began to remove the impurities. This time, Linley took a shorter time. The reason why the violet gold meteorite took so long was because it was both a saint-grade material and a very high-grade saint-grade artifact. Thus, PFFF, after 3 hours, 16 pieces of the purple gold meteoric iron appeared in the prepared vessel. At this moment, a smile appeared on Lin Ray's face. But this smile only appeared for a moment, because the next step was the most important step. If this step was not completed, not only would the materials be wasted, but the grade of the worldly magnificent space would also be affected. Lin Ray did not want this kind of loss to happen. He did not want to see the worldly magnificent space appear, and he did not want his materials to be destroyed. No matter what, Lin Ray did not want to see it happen. Ha! Cloud weapon hand. Linley let out a loud shout. Immediately, he struck out with one spell after another. A heaven and earth splendor condensed from spiritual energy appeared. Then, Linley took out all the equipment he had prepared and instantly fused them into the heaven and earth splendor. Pung! A loud sound could be heard. The moment the fused materials fused into the worldly magnificent space, Lin Ray stood up and stretched out his hand. Filled with the spiritual energy of a middle-stage god emperor, he slapped the worldly magnificent space. Peng peng peng, peng peng peng. For a moment, only the sound of Lin Ray slapping the worldly magnificent space was left in the room. And at this moment, the worldly magnificent space underwent a qualitative change under Lin Ray's slapping. It could be seen that the quality of the worldly magnificent space was increasing rapidly. This speed, if it was seen by the outside world, would definitely be scared to death. Although the worldly magnificent space was only increasing in grade, it had now increased by 1 grade to the peak of the middle stage god weapon. But at this moment, the speed of improvement did not stop. At this moment, the originally red light began to slowly transform into a purple light. Heavenly crystal weapon refining hand, condense for me. For a moment, Lin Rei's slapping speed became faster and faster. And amidst the mixed slapping sounds, a vague sense of order was slowly forming. Pang. Pang pang, pang pang. Pang. Pang pang pang, quickly. Let me see what the effect of a supreme-grade god weapon will be like. At this moment, the color of the worldly magnificent space's surface turned into a light purple color. For a moment, Lin Rei's face revealed a smile. At this moment, the worldly magnificent space had once again increased in grade to the peak of the upper stage god weapon. It was just a step away from becoming a supreme-grade god weapon. But the gap between the two was like a chasm between the heavens and earth. It was simply too difficult for ordinary people to overcome it. The road ahead was bumpy. One heavenly primordial water, this time it's up to you. Looking at the color of the pill furnace and the aura that was slowly increasing, Lin Rei casually took out the one heavenly primordial water that could help to increase the grade of the weapon refining. Then, without hesitation, he merged it into the worldly magnificent space. Bzzz, boom. A strange phenomenon suddenly appeared. A portrait of mountains, rivers, birds, and beasts suddenly appeared in the sky above the worldly magnificent space. And among them, a little person in red clothes suddenly appeared. Weapon spirit? The moment he saw the little person, Lin Rei's heart trembled. Then, he immediately increased the smelting speed. Boom, the illusory spirit blood fire increased in intensity. Instantly, the entire worldly magnificent space was enveloped in blood-red flames, and the smelting speed increased. Time passed little by little. The worldly magnificent space and the weapon spirit were successfully smelted under Lin Rei's expectations. The weapon is done. Whoosh. The supreme-grade divine weapon, worldly magnificent space, was successfully smelted by Lin Rei. A purple light instantly shot up into the sky and into the clouds. Rumble. Rumble, a thundercloud formed the moment the purple light shot up into the clouds. A terrifying pressure instantly enveloped the entire Jade City. SSS. Quick. Quick, look. Tribulation cloud. Is someone undergoing a tribulation? At this moment, the pressure of the thundercloud appeared. All the cultivators and ordinary people in Jade City immediately took the lead to look at it. TSK, idiot. That's not a tribulation. It's purple tribulation clouds. That's a tribulation cloud that can only be triggered by a divine weapon. Moreover, it's a divine weapon of extremely high quality. It can be seen that someone in Jade City has refined a terrifying divine weapon. Oh. Could it be the Blacksmith Guild? At this moment, after hearing the explanation, everyone couldn't help but look in the direction of the Blacksmith Guild. However, the Blacksmith Guild was the same as everyone else. It was just that they were a little busy. At this moment, the president of the Blacksmith Guild, Lu Ruffeng, was very excited as he looked at the tribulation cloud in the sky. At the same time, he ordered the people around him, "Quick, go and investigate. We must find this person who can make a supreme-grade divine weapon. We must recruit him into our guild. Then, our guild will be able to shake the 9 heavens and 10 earths." "Yes, I will go now." Hearing the order, the middle-aged man disappeared from the room in a flash. As for the person who had caused all of this, Linley, right now, he was in his own room, admiringly stroking the purple heaven and earth splendor. Lin Rei didn't care about the tribulation cloud outside at all because he had already informed Xia Feng to get rid of the thundercloud above her head. To her, it was just a matter of a snap of her fingers. As the only work that he was satisfied with so far, how could Lin Rei bear to let it be baptized by the tribulation cloud? Chapter 731. After receiving Lin Rei's message, Xia Feng shook her head with a bitter smile. She muttered to herself, "I didn't expect that I, a Saint Realm expert and the clan leader of the ancient Phoenix tribe, would become a professional fighter for a godly realm junior. If the saints of the ancient era knew about this, they would be so shocked that they would crawl out of their graves. However, even so, Xia Feng still did as she was told. The talent that Lin Rei displayed and the speed at which he improved his cultivation were too terrifying. This would be a great help for her revenge. Most importantly, she had a good impression of Lin Rei. Feeling the rolling thunder clouds in the sky, Xia Feng curled the corner of her mouth and showed a trace of disdain. She walked out of the room and looked up at the thunder clouds in the sky. Actually, Fei Hong was nothing in front of her. Lord of the ancient Phoenix tribe, break for me. Her voice was very loud, but no one in Xiong City heard it. However, at this moment, the thunder clouds that were forming in the sky were slowly releasing a pressure that made people's souls tremble. However, with Xia Feng's shout, the thunder clouds disappeared inexplicably. When they came, they were loud and powerful, but when they left, they were silent. Ha! At least you know what's good for you. Xia Feng nodded and muttered. At this moment, the people in Xiong City couldn't stay calm. One should know that the thunder clouds had just formed, but now they disappeared inexplicably. At this moment, some of the higher-ups of the top forces thought of several possibilities. First, it was dispelled by an expert. Second, the supreme-grade divine artifact was destroyed, and the thunder clouds disappeared inexplicably. At this moment, the higher-ups subconsciously chose the latter. The divine artifact was destroyed because of intelligence. If the thunder clouds were dispelled by force, how powerful must the person be? This was something that they didn't allow and didn't want to see. However, this was the truth. Xia Feng's strength was something that they could never reach in their lifetime. Even if they succeeded one day, by then, Xia Feng would be standing at a higher position. For a time, this matter became the topic of discussion for the people of Jade City. It became a topic of discussion for the people of Jade City, and it became a contrast to the alchemy conference. Lin Rei had no idea what was going on outside. At this moment, he was hugging the supreme-grade divine artifact that he had refined happily. In the room, Lin Rei was hugging the supreme-grade divine artifact that he had forged himself. There was an indescribable joy on his face. My current equipment refinement realm is already at the perfection stage of the Exalt realm. If I work hard and attain the Saint realm, then... When he thought of this, Lin Rei couldn't help but fantasize. He fantasized about being able to refine a saint-level Dharma artifact, and so on. Bang! A strange sound immediately pulled Lin Rei back to reality. At this moment, he hurriedly put away his smile and returned to his usual calm expression. Bang! A strange sound rang out again. For the first time, Lin Rei realized that someone was trying to break through the array formation that he had set up outside. Interesting. Who is it? At this moment, he really wanted to see who was so bold as to break through the array that he had set up. There were generally two ways to break an array formation. First, one could find the eye of the array. However, this method was generally not understood by ordinary people except for the same array formation master. The second method was to break it with force. Just like the mysterious person outside at this moment, she was breaking it with force. She wanted to use absolute force to break the array formation that was set up by an Exalt Realm expert. At this moment, Lin Rei, who was slightly interested, opened the door and took a look. In an instant, Lin Rei was stunned on the spot. At this moment, the person who had broken through the array formation was none other than Xia Feng. Seeing her break through the array formation with interest, Lin Rei suddenly felt a headache coming on. He knew how powerful the evil phoenix was. With a casual wave of her hand, she would be able to break through the formation he had broken. And this was through brute force. But Lin Li didn't understand why she had to do this even though she clearly knew how to set up formations. Maybe it was because it was too boring. Lin Rei hurriedly threw this thought to the back of his mind. Then, he withdrew the array formation. Xia Feng also appeared at the door. Xia Feng, what are you doing? Are you deliberately causing trouble? Lin Rei was speechless. I have nothing to do. Don't worry, I just wanted to see how big your array formation was. I didn't want to break it. You can rest assured. Lin Rei was even more speechless after hearing this. She didn't want to break the array formation, but just now, she clearly saw that his array formation was on the verge of collapse. This, however, Lin Rei's frown was exposed. He immediately echoed, yes, yes, yes. As he spoke, Lin Rei walked to the side. Next to him was Chu Si's room. He had prepared the pill furnace that he had refined and handed it over to her. There were less than 2 hours left until the alchemy conference. Looking at the time, Lin Rei heaved a sigh of relief. He was indescribably happy. At the same time, he was very happy that he had refined a top-grade divine artifact. Hey! Where are you going? I came here to see the divine artifact that you refined. If you leave, what am I going to see? Xia Feng couldn't help but say as she watched Lin Rei walk away step by step. Looking at Lin Rei's back, Xia Feng's eyes flashed with a trace of disappointment. However, Lin Rei didn't notice this at all. At this moment, Lin Rei's only thought was to give heaven and earth Huayu to Chu Xi. This was the thing that he wanted to do the most right now. Lin Rei was very close to Chu Xi's room. They were only separated by a wall. Arriving at the door, he knocked and said, Chu Xi. Jia. In less than 3 breaths of time, the door opened and Lin Rei looked at Lin Rei with a solemn expression. Her eyes were filled with respect and admiration. Young master, please come in. Chu Xi made an inviting gesture and bowed respectfully. Heh, okay. In response, Lin Rei smiled and stepped into the room. After arriving at the place where he was sitting, he sat down. With a bang, the door was closed. Chu Xi quickly walked over to Lin Rei. She didn't speak anymore. Looking at her, Lin Rei nodded and said, Before, I said that I would give you an alchemy furnace. I wanted to wait until after this, but after thinking about it, you're about to participate in the alchemy conference. During this period of time, you've been using my heaven and earth Huayu to barely refine pills with 5 patterns. Of course, most of them will still fail. So, in order to prevent you from dying too early in the alchemy conference, I refined the heaven and earth Huayu again last night and finally raised its grade to the peak of the late divine tool stage. It's only 1 step away from perfection. The ancient said that a single thought could lead one to heaven and hell. A single thought could lead one to Buddha and a single thought could lead one to devil. It was only a single thought, but it was like a chasm between heaven and earth. Dong, after saying that, a huge cauldron with 3 purple lights appeared. At this moment, Chu Xi was dumbfounded. At the same time, she was bathed in a sea of happiness. Looking at the heaven and earth Huayu in front of her, Chu Xi's heart was filled with anticipation and desire. At this moment, she couldn't wait to refine pills and see the effects of this cauldron. Hee hee. Seeing the desire in Chu Xi's eyes, Lin Rei smiled and said, All right, we don't have time to wait for you to get used to it. Quickly, drip your blood on it and let's go to the alchemy conference. It's about to start, yes, young master. Hearing this, Chu Xi nodded repeatedly. She walked up to the heaven and earth Huayu and squeezed out a drop of blood from her finger. Then, she dripped it on the heaven and earth Huayu. Wang, at this moment, the moment Chu Xi's blood touched the heaven and earth Huayu, a purple light rushed into Chu Xi's mind, carrying all the information of the heaven and earth Huayu. The heaven and earth Huayu was forged by heaven and earth. Later, Lin Rei used the illusory spirit blood fire to refine it into a supreme divine tool. The current heaven and earth Huayu has a 20% success rate when refining pills. Hiss. After receiving the information and examining it, Chu Xi couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. Her face was filled with shock. A 20% success rate. She had never heard of such a probability. How could she not be excited about such a furnace? How could she not be excited? How could she not be excited? How could she not forget about herself? Heh. Seeing the shock and excitement on Chu Si's face, Lin Rei couldn't help but raise his head with a proud expression. However, thinking about the alchemy conference, Lin Rei immediately said, "Let's go. Let's go to the alchemy conference. Bring me the first place this time." Okay. Seeing her young master like this, Chu Si was stunned for a moment, then nodded in agreement. If the chance of winning the first place was 60% before, then the chance now was 90%. With that said, the two of them walked out of the room and soared into the sky, rushing towards the Alchemy Guild. It could be said that Linley was very familiar with the Alchemist Guild. Within a few minutes, he had arrived. And this was after Linley had lowered his speed. Otherwise, he would have arrived in an instant. Above the Alchemy Guild, Lin Rei, who had just arrived, looked at the sea of people below and frowned. His face was filled with contemplation. "Young master, what's wrong?" Chu Si asked. No, nothing. Let's go." With that said, he brought Chu Si to the Alchemy Guild. After showing the Danzong Sect's president, they entered the Alchemy Guild without any obstructions. The current state of the Alchemy Guild was different from the outside. There was a sea of people outside, but it was different inside. The atmosphere was very heavy, and the smell of gunpowder was very thick. It was as if a war could break out at any time, causing the deities to tense up. "We've arrived at the Danzong Sect." Just as Lin Rei and Chu Si entered the Alchemy Guild, a sudden voice rang out. Instantly, everyone's gaze fell on Lin Rei and Chu Si standing at the entrance. Looking at everyone's gazes, Lin Rei's face was calm as if he didn't see them at all. He said to Chu Si, "Remember, you've only made the worldly splendor recognize you as its master. You haven't really controlled it yet. So, the main thing you need to do when you return this time is to completely refine the worldly splendor. Then, quickly go into seclusion. Like I said before, don't come out until you've become a lower zone level alchemist." "Oh, right, you only have 100 years. At this moment, everyone saw that Lin Rei didn't have any intention of giving them a chance. Immediately, they all pointed their spears at Lin Rei and Chu Si. "Oh, they've really fallen behind. I didn't expect the Danzong Sect to only send 2 kids. It seems like they can no longer bear the title of one of the 7 sections. It's time for a change." Right at this moment, a slightly chubby old man with a white beard and a sharp, unkind look on his face suddenly stood up and spoke to Linley and Bibi. And this old man was one of those eyes. At this moment, he was very unhappy with Lin Rei and Chu Si. He didn't expect to be ignored. He was not the only one. Beside him, there was an extremely thin and small old man. His eyes were shining, and the majestic spiritual energy in his body was being suppressed. When he saw the fat old man stand up, he immediately followed suit and said, "Senior brother, don't worry. Yes, the juniors nowadays don't know anything. Really, yes, it seems that the Danzong Sect has really declined. They actually sent 2 kids here." At this moment, one of the 2 old men stood up. Immediately, everyone present began to point at Lin Rei and Chu Si. Their faces were full of disdain, and their eyes were full of ridicule and disgust. "You all." Chu Si heard all the discussions of the crowd. For a moment, Chu Si's face turned cold. He released his middle-stage God-Emperor cultivation, and a terrifying pressure immediately pressed down on everyone present. What? This. In just a short moment, those old men who mocked Lin Rei and Chu Si felt the terrifying aura released by the people from the Danzong Sect. Everyone was stunned. Their eyes were full of disbelief and shock. They didn't expect such a young person to have such a terrifying aura. And those who were able to come here were all God Emperors. They were also elders and leaders of the 7 sects and 1st and 2nd grade sections. I don't care what sect you are from. Remember, don't talk about my young master. If I hear it again, the consequences will be the same as his. Chu Si's expression was ice cold as he pointed at the fat old man who had opened his mouth first. Immediately, a murderous aura charged out. His body flashed and instantly disappeared from the spot. His entire body was just like a ghost as he completely disappeared from this place. What? This sudden scene stunned everyone present. They didn't expect this young man in front of them to kill so decisively. Humph, brat, our cultivations are about the same. And I've been a middle-stage god emperor for a long time. I can only say that you are very stupid to want to fight with me. The plump old man sneered. He then moved. But at this moment, just as his face was filled with disdain and his mouth was cursing, a figure appeared behind him. This figure was Chu Si. At this moment, Chu Si held a cold sword against the neck of the plump old man. The aura of death spread across the entire body of the plump old man. Remember, don't stand out in your next life. Don't look down on others because there are some people you can't afford to offend. Pu Si. One could see a blood sword shooting out from the neck of the plump old man. How is this possible? It was just a moment. The plump old man didn't even have time to react. He felt his life force rapidly flowing away. The cultivation of these two seems to be at the same level. To be able to kill him in a single move, what kind of strength is this? Chapter 732. Chu Si's decisiveness was ruthless, causing everyone present to fall into silence and into deep fear. Everyone present was self-aware. They all knew that their strength was comparable to the fat old man. Even though some were slightly stronger, they were only slightly stronger. Facing an expert who could kill a middle-stage god emperor in a single move, how could they be impudent? All of you, if I hear any malicious words about my young master from your mouths, then, the next time, it will not be as simple as killing. No matter how powerful your sects are, you must believe that I have the ability to make your sects disappear from this world completely. I will do what I say. See, once these words were spoken, everyone could not help but take in a breath of cold air. Their faces were filled with fear, shock, and disbelief. They had never thought that a sect that had always prided itself on refining pills would actually have such combat strength. Furthermore, he was so young. They could not help but reevaluate their understanding of the sect at the bottom of the 7 sections. At this moment, no one dared to place the Danzong sect at the bottom of the 7 sections. Alright, Chu Si. We are here to participate in the pill refining competition. There is no need to make things so awkward, right? At this moment, Lin Rei, who had been silent all this while, finally spoke. Once these words were spoken, everyone looked at him with gratitude. They were currently in a difficult situation. Now that Lin Rei said these words, it was clear that he was giving them a way out. Immediately, everyone laughed in agreement. Yes. Ah. Yes. Just now, I was the one who was waiting for you. Please don't take offense. After saying that, the thin old man hurriedly came forward and took out a jade box from his storage ring. He bowed respectfully and handed it to Lin Rei. With a trembling voice, he said respectfully, that Dao friend, I have offended you previously. This is a bottle of flame stones. As a pill refiner, you should know its effects. It can be used to refine the flame fire pill. Please accept it. Once these words were spoken, everyone present looked at him strangely. Their eyes were filled with disdain, but at the same time, they were filled with admiration. Because this was what they wanted to do. For these people who had been in high positions for many years, they especially cherished their lives. Moreover, in their minds, they would rather be on good terms with such an expert than offend him. *CK, I was too late. That old brat is really... At this time, another person who was also watching could not help but roar in his heart when he saw the skinny old man in such a state. How can I accept this? Lin Rei naturally knew about the flame stone. Moreover, coincidentally, he was in need of such an item. Moreover, the flame pill was a saint-grade elixir. Not only could it improve one's physical body, it could also increase one's cultivation. For the current Lin Rei, it was just what he needed. Lin Rei had a smile on his face as he watched the skinny and small man press the flame stone. Although he said that he was embarrassed, he had already taken the flame stone. When he received it, Lin Rei could feel the strength of the skinny old man's hand. He was very reluctant to part with it, but he had no choice. Of course, Lin Rei naturally did not refuse this gift. Haha. The skinny old man laughed and hurriedly said, "Fellow Taoist, this old man is the 6th elder of the Rain Sect. It is truly my fortune to meet you today. I hope that you will have the opportunity to visit my Rain Sect. I, Yu Qingkong, will definitely treat you well as a good host. I guarantee that you will be satisfied." When he heard the last sentence, Lin Rei was stunned. Similarly, not only was Lin Rei stunned, everyone present was stunned because this sentence had many meanings. Alright, fellow Taoist you, this lord will definitely go to the Rain Sect. At that time, I hope that fellow Taoist you will guide me. In the eyes of others, this was Lin Rei being polite. However, it was not. For another mission, Lin Rei just happened to be able to use their Rain Sect. Good. Yu Qingkong will definitely wait for fellow Taoist's arrival. After saying that, Yu Qingkong retreated to the side with a smile on his face and did not say anything else. Fellow Taoist, I am Zhuge Ho of the Sword Sect. This lord obtained this in a secret realm. It is useless to me. At this time, as soon as Yu Qingkong left, a middle-aged man walked up with a jade box in his hand. Seeing this, Lin Rei was stunned for a moment. However, the moment his divine sense swept over the jade box, the system spoke. Kid, hurry up and bring it over. With it, the system can be upgraded again. At that time, even more powerful things will be unlocked. Hurry up. What? Hearing this, Lin Rei was shocked. He could not help but covet the jade box in Zhuge Ho's hand. Because this was related to the system's upgrade, Lin Rei naturally would not let it go. Even if Zhuge Ho did not give it to him, Lin Rei would think of a way to get it. Even if he had to snatch it, he would not hesitate. Hurry up, you must get it. Remember, no matter the cost, even if you have to kill it. At this moment, he could feel the system's terrifying murderous intent. At this moment, the system was serious. All right. Lin Rei replied. Then, he came back to his senses and looked at the jade box in Zhuge Ho's hand with a burning gaze. In the next moment, everything around him seemed to disappear, including Zhuge Ho. At this moment, in Lin Rei's world, only the jade box was left. At this time, Zhuge Ho did not know that Lin Rei was so fond of the jade box in his hand that he had the urge to kill him. However, because of his eyes, his heart was still beating like a drum. Brother Lin Rei, I like this item of yours. How about this? I will not let you lose out. Tell me, what do you want? As long as I, Lin Rei, can do it, even if it's a star, I will get it for you. Oh, you must be joking. At this moment, Zhuge Ho was overjoyed. To be honest, he was not sure whether the item in the jade box was good or not. This was because ever since he obtained it, he had studied it for thousands of years. However, he still could not find anything. Originally, he wanted to try his luck, but he did not expect to get it right. Brother Lin, you can take this item. It's his honor that this item can help you. After saying that, Zhuge Ho handed the item to Lin Rei. Okay. Lin Rei was determined to get the item in front of him. Therefore, he did not feel embarrassed and immediately took it and sent it into the system. Looking at Zhuge Ho, Lin Rei thought for a moment. Then, he took out a high-grade divine weapon from his storage ring and handed it to Zhuge Ho. He said, Brother Zhuge, the item you gave me is very important to me, but I will not let you lose out. This is the Ice Frost Sword. I casually refined it in my spare time. Please don't dislike it. What? This is a high-grade divine weapon? At this moment, Zhuge He's eyes widened and he was shocked. In the realm of the gods, high-grade divine weapons were only owned by the sect leaders of the major sections. As for supreme-grade divine weapons, they were regarded as the most precious treasures of the sections. Now, the young man in front of him casually took out a high-grade divine weapon and refined it casually. At this moment, Zhuge He knew that his actions just now were very clear and worth it. Yes, why? You don't like it? Seeing Zhuge He's reaction, Lin Rei quickly said, how about this? When the alchemy conference is over, I will refine a supreme-grade divine weapon for you. How about this? Hiss. As soon as Lin Li said this, everyone present couldn't help but suck in a cold breath. Their faces were filled with shock and disbelief. In the sect, only the high elders were permitted to use a top-grade divine artifact. Not even the sect leader was permitted to use one. But now, a blind young man was giving one away so easily. At this moment, everyone was stunned. Although they still did not believe it, seeing a high-grade divine weapon casually gave away made them feel at ease. At this moment, Zhuge He was so excited that he laughed. Although he did not believe that Lin Rei could really refine a supreme-grade divine weapon, he was full of expectations for Lin Rei. If it's possible. Originally, Zhuge He wanted to refuse, but it was a supreme-grade divine weapon. Under such temptation, Zhuge He did not refuse. Well, in that case, when the alchemy conference is over, you can go back with me. Anyway, I have a friend with the surname Zhuge. Maybe you two know each other? Oh. At this moment, Zhuge He was also looking forward to it. Well, in that case, let's hurry up and get ready. The conference is about to start. Seeing that the time had come, Lin Rei said. Then, he found a quiet place with few people and sat down. As for Zhuge He, he followed Lin Rei to a place and sat side by side with him. As for the sword master, when he saw Zhuge He, he quickly stood up and stood behind him respectfully. Look, it's Lu Yu from the Alchemy Guild. The middle-grade Grandmaster Alchemist is here. Right at this moment, as soon as Lin Li sat down, a strange sound suddenly rang out, and within this strange sound, a name attracted everyone's attention. Lu Yu? Of course, Lin Rei was familiar with this name. Wasn't this the old man who had exchanged the Eye of Tendo for the 9 revolving water cloud pill? Looking at the expectant and admiring eyes of the crowd, Lin Rei could not help but shake his head and sigh. And Lin Rei's action was noticed by Zhuge He, who was beside him, and suddenly, he was shocked. One should know that everyone present was looking forward to Lu Yu, including him. However, Lin Rei did not have any expression of anticipation at all. In fact, Zhuge He even saw a trace of disdain at the corner of Lin Rei's mouth. At this moment, his curiosity about Lin Rei was even stronger. Master Lu Yu, this alchemy conference, what do you think will be big? Just as everyone was asking Lu Yu questions, Lu Yu's eyes swept around. When his eyes swept over Lin Rei in an empty corner, Lu Yu could not help but say, big. But just as the word big came out of his mouth, Lin Rei frowned and immediately transmitted a message to stop him. Shut up, I don't want others to know who I am. Hearing this, Lu Yu's face lit up and he quickly changed his words. His eyes revealed a smile as he said to the crowd, hello everyone, welcome to the alchemy conference organized by the Alchemy Guild. Clap clap clap. There was a round of applause, and some people even whistled. Good, most of the alchemists here have been nurtured by the various sects with all their might, so this time, there will be a change in the reward for the first place. Lu Yu looked at the crowd with a mysterious smile. What is it, Master Lu Yu? Hurry up and say it, what is the reward for the first place? That's right, Master Lu Yu. Hurry up and say it, the flowers have withered from waiting. At this moment, everyone's curiosity was completely piqued by Lu Yu. Seeing that everyone was so curious, Lu Yu chuckled and said, well, since everyone is curious, I won't hide it. This alchemy conference is divided into 3 rounds. The first round is a knockout competition. The participants will refine a middle-grade royal grade elixir. Whoever can refine the best middle-grade royal grade elixir will win. The second round is a duel. The winner will challenge the other person to an alchemy competition. Just like the previous round, whoever refines the best elixir will win. The third round will be held by the last person to refine the elixir according to the specified elixir. Similarly, whoever refines the best elixir will be the final winner. The final winner will receive a supreme grade divine artifact, 10,000 cauldrons, a purple bamboo vine, and a chance to enter the Alchemy Guild. The Alchemy Guild will do its best to nurture the winner. What? This. At this moment, when Lu Yu mentioned the first place's reward, everyone couldn't remain calm. Even Zhuge He, who was sitting beside Lin Rei, couldn't remain calm. In everyone's eyes, whether it was a supreme grade divine artifact, elixir, or a chance to enter the Alchemy Guild, any one of these 3 things would make everyone envious. As for Lin Rei, he was stunned when he heard the rewards. Lin Rei didn't care about the supreme grade divine artifact and the chance to enter the Alchemy Guild. However, Lin Rei was slightly interested in the elixir. After all, elixirs were rare in the divine world. Now that he needed to increase his cultivation, the divine world's elixirs couldn't satisfy his needs. Alright, let's not talk nonsense. It's time. Let the alchemy conference officially begin. There are 16 alchemists participating in the alchemy competition. Hurry up and enter. As he spoke, 16 middle-aged men and women walked into the Alchemy Guild. The 16 of them looked at their opponents with arrogance and disdain. Surprisingly, Chu Si's figure was among them. However, unlike the others who were secretly competing with each other, Chu Si had her eyes tightly shut as she concentrated on calming her mind. She planned to use her best state of mind to face the upcoming challenge. Lu Yu, who was now in charge, looked at the 16 alchemists and smiled. He said, "All right, let's not talk nonsense. Everyone, let's begin." Dong. 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 At his command, the 16 alchemists took out their alchemy furnaces. In an instant, the entire Alchemy Guild was filled with jewels and jewels. What? That's. Just as the jewels and jewels were shining, a person with strong eyesight stared blankly at the purple alchemy furnace next to one of the 16 alchemists. What's wrong? At this moment, the person who was sitting with the person who spoke asked immediately. Quick. Quick, look over there. Without turning his head, he pointed at the place where Chu Si was sitting. His voice was trembling and his face was filled with excitement. What? The old man turned his head impatiently and looked in the direction he was pointing at. In the next moment, the old man's eyes were filled with shock, disbelief, and excitement. Chapter 733. Supreme Grade Divine Weapon. That's a Supreme Grade Divine Weapon. Finally, the title of Supreme Grade Divine Weapon attracted everyone's attention to the worldly splendor space beside Chu Si. At this moment, everyone could see the greed in their eyes. They did not try to hide it at all. But what they didn't notice was that Linley, who was sitting in the corner, saw the greedy looks in their eyes. Linley's gaze suddenly turned cold, and a murderous aura filled his entire body. Zhuge He, who was sitting at the side, had the same reaction as everyone else. It was a supreme grade divine artifact. It was something that all the major sects were envious of and longed for, let alone him. However, when he felt the murderous aura around him that made his soul tremble, he immediately shivered and the greed in his eyes disappeared. Zhuge He, who had recovered, glanced at Lin Rei from the corner of his eyes. Then, he looked at the contestant with a supreme grade divine weapon. In the next moment, Zhuge He was stunned. At the same time, there was also a strong sense of excitement. Because he saw that the owner of the supreme grade divine weapon was Chu Si. If even one of her subordinates had a supreme-grade divine weapon, then what Lin Rei said before, that he could refine it himself, was more than 80% true. When he thought of this, how could he not be excited when he thought of the fact that he was about to get his hands on a supreme-grade divine weapon? That was something he had always wanted. At the same time, he was very clear that he was beside Lin Rei. At the same time, he was glad that he recovered early. Otherwise, the consequences would have been unimaginable. At this moment, other than Lin Rei and Zhuge He, everyone else was the same as before. However, the murderous aura in their eyes became denser. They couldn't wait to rush up and snatch the supreme-grade divine weapon. Desire and greed were about to take over their bodies. Humph. Wang. At this moment, Lin Rei snorted coldly. Immediately, everyone present felt as if their hearts had been hit by a force of 10,000 kilograms. At this moment, everyone came back to their senses. It's just that Lin Rei's cold snort contained a huge amount of mental energy and a cultivation of a middle-stage god emperor. If not for the fact that the cultivator had a strong mental energy, he would have been heavily injured by Lin Rei. Of course, among these people, only Zhuge He, who had recovered first, did not receive Lin Rei's attack. At this moment, everyone's faces were pale, and a trace of bright red blood flowed out from the corners of their mouths. Their hands couldn't help but cover their chests, and their faces were filled with pain. At the same time, it was only at this moment that the crowd noticed the owner of the supreme-grade divine artifact. They were instantly shocked. It's better for you to take what's yours. It's useless for you to look at what doesn't belong to you. If you want to snatch it, I don't mind killing a few people to shake up the situation. How about it? Everyone. Lin Rei closed his eyes. His tone was as cold as ice. His words were like a sharp blade that pierced into everyone's hearts. At this moment, everyone was terrified. They couldn't help but recall the scene of the fat old man's death. Fellow cultivator Lin, it's our fault. We won't do it again. Yes. Fellow cultivator Lin, we didn't mean it. Please forgive us. Yes. We didn't mean it. Please don't lower yourself to our level. Because they were afraid, even though they were the higher-ups of a sect and were powerful cultivators. In the face of death, everyone was the same. They were the same. They were the same. They were the same. They were the same. Looking at them, Lin Rei calmed down and said, "All right, since that's the case, let's begin." Yes, let's begin. Let's begin. Lu Yu nodded at Lin Rei's words. He then stood up and raised his voice, "Everyone, the first round will begin. Those who want to refine pills, the Alchemy Guild will provide the pills. If no one wants to refine pills within 3 hours, you will be eliminated automatically. Now, the Alchemy Conference begins." At Lu Yu's command, the 16 alchemists below started to get busy. At this moment, when they heard that the Alchemy Conference had begun, they glanced at Lin Rei, who was sitting beside them. Then, they started to choose the spiritual herbs to refine the pills. Let's refine the spiritual recovery pill. This kind of pill is harder to refine than other pills. Seeing that everyone was choosing, Chu Ci thought of the spiritual recovery pill and started to choose. Lingji grass? Sitting in the seat of honor and looking at the spiritual herbs Chu Ci chose, the spiritual recovery pill appeared in his mind. "Oh, good boy, I didn't expect you to refine this." At this moment, Lin Rei's face showed a trace of relief. This was because he knew how difficult it was to refine the spirit recovery pill. Other pills generally only required a dozen to 30 types of spirit herbs, but the spirit recovery pill was different. This spirit recovery pill's medicinal effects were particularly comprehensive. Even in the market, this kind of pill was not common. Not only could it restore spiritual power, but it could also restore exhausted spiritual power, mental power, and physical strength. Moreover, the spiritual recovery pill required 64 types of spiritual herbs. For this kind of spiritual herb, an average alchemist would need 2 to 3 days to refine. However, Lin Rei did not think so when it came to Chu Ci. He believed in Chu Ci's strength and his illusory spirit blood fire. At most, it would take 1.5 hours. After 1.5 hours, the spiritual recovery pill would be refined. According to the quality of the pills Chu Ci had refined in the past, it would be able to reach the level of 5 pill veins. It wasn't just Lin Li. Everyone's gaze landed on Chu Ci as well as Tiandi Huayu. They were all very curious. For such a powerful person who also possessed a supreme quality god artifact, what level of pill would he be able to refine? Some people even started to try to rope in Chu Ci. After all, an alchemy master was very important to a sect. Moreover, Chu Ci was not only an alchemist, but also a cultivator in the middle stage God-Emperor realm. With such strength and heaven-defying alchemy skills, then, the entire deity world would probably try to rope him in, even if they knew he was a disciple of the Danzong sect. Of course, Chu Ci, who was in the middle of selecting spiritual ingredients, naturally didn't know what everyone was thinking. At this moment, all he wanted to do was refine a good pill and not embarrass Lin Li. He couldn't disgrace the name of worldly splendor. Not far from him, a woman in white was looking at him with a venomous expression. Humph, just you wait. So what if you have a powerful alchemy cauldron? You are not that person. You don't have the realm of a revered great alchemist. Although I can't take revenge on you, it's enough to crush you in the alchemy conference. The woman gritted her teeth. If Chu Ci knew what this woman was thinking, he would definitely ignore her and focus on concocting pills. Because Chu Ci didn't put her in his eyes. This woman was not a person. She was Bai Yi, who was with Lu Yu in the alchemy guild. Heh, I'm finally done. At this moment, Chu Ci looked at the 64 spiritual herbs floating in the air and smiled. Then, in a flash, he returned to his original position. Chu Ci no longer hesitated. She had already wasted a lot of time choosing spirit herbs. At this moment, she was already racing against time, even though she knew she had enough time. Boom. At this moment, Chu Ci sat down cross-legged and looked at the supreme-grade Tiandi Huayu in front of him. Chu Ci was excited. In the next moment, his alchemy fire rushed out and rushed into the Tiandi Huayu. The first step of refining pills was to preheat them. This was something all alchemists had to do, including Lin Rei. Of course, this step could be skipped if the alchemy furnace was not used. 5 minutes later, Chu Ci felt that the preheating process was successful. Following which, she threw all 64 types of spiritual herbs into the pill furnace at once. This is refining pills? Yeah, this. Chu Ci's actions shocked everyone present, including the contestants who were refining pills. They were all stunned at this moment. Some of the contestants were so shocked by Chu Ci's actions that they cut off the flow of flames into their pill cauldrons. In an instant, their cauldrons exploded. With a loud bang, a cloud of black smoke drifted out of the furnace. At first, it was fine, but as the black smoke drifted out, a foul smell spread out. Bang! Another loud sound rang out. At this time, a middle-aged man opened his mouth and complained, F***CK, don't you have any morals? Why are you refining the stink pill? Can you do it? This isn't a war, is there a need to disgust people? At this time, the middle-aged man's words reflected everyone's thoughts. This sentence was also what they wanted to say. The stink pill was a mid-grade emperor-level pill. Although it was called the stink pill, it was called the stink pill because of its pungent smell. Because it was a stink pill, the refining process was very complicated. It was poles apart from Chu Ci's spirit recovery pill. However, Chu Ci was not affected by the changes in his surroundings at all. At this moment, he had completely integrated into the world of alchemy. Just as Chu Ci threw the 64 herbs into the worldly splendor space, a terrifying mental force was activated. It rushed into the worldly splendor space and split into 64 streams, attaching themselves to the 64 herbs. At this time, Lin Rei, who had been paying attention to Chu Ci, saw this scene and his heart skipped a beat. His face was full of surprise. This method was only known to him because it was the alchemy method he created. This method could greatly increase the speed of refining pills. However, the conditions to practice this method were very strict. Spiritual power, strong spiritual power, was the key to this alchemy method. Before he went into seclusion, Lin Rei taught him this method. At that time, it was just a spur of the moment. He did not expect Chu Ci to really learn it. At this moment, he knew that Chu Ci's alchemy skills had really improved, and not just by a little bit. Lin Rei was happy for him. At this time, Chu Ci used his spiritual power. Because this alchemy method required a very precise amount of spiritual power, Chu Ci's face was slightly pale and his spiritual power was slightly sluggish. After all, if one's spiritual power did not meet the requirements, forcefully using it would damage their spiritual power. If it was serious, their spiritual power would directly collapse and turn into killing intent. At this time, Chu Ci just met the minimum requirements of this method. Although it was a little strenuous, he could still do it. Moreover, this was his second time using it, so his movements were a little rusty. I hope there won't be any mistakes this time. Bless me. At this time, Chu Ci could feel the impurities of the 64 spiritual herbs in the furnace slowly being removed. Chu Ci could not help but pray. Time passed little by little. In the blink of an eye, an hour had passed. The alchemists whose furnaces had exploded had already cleaned up and started refining again. Some of them had also reached a critical juncture. What about Chu Ci? At this moment, he had a smile on his face as he looked at the 64 drops of spiritual medicine quenching liquid in the furnace with a relaxed expression. Phew. I finally succeeded. Looking at the liquid, Chu Ci could not help but sigh emotionally. However, although he was emotional and happy, he did not relax at all. This was because the next step was the most important part of alchemy, the fusion and formation of the pills. Success or failure depended on this step. Phew, come on. Sensing the time, Chu Ci took a deep breath and immediately used his spiritual power and alchemy fire. Immediately, the alchemy fire increased and the 64 drops of refining liquid began to fuse under Chu Ci's refining. Fusing pills was a huge project. Because the medicinal properties of the spiritual herbs were different, the fusion of the pills had to be done very carefully. Otherwise, one careless mistake and the whole thing would be lost. In the end, it would be a waste of effort. Heh, the child is worth teaching. Upon seeing what Chu Ci had just done, the smile on Linley's face grew even wider, because everything Chu Ci had just done had completely exceeded his expectations. Heh. 9 Dragon Pill Fusion Spell, fuse for me. Immediately, Chu Ci shouted loudly. Then, mysterious seals were formed one after another. Under the urging of Chu Ci, the speed of the seals became faster and faster. In the end, except for Lin Rei, the others could only see an afterimage. This. I didn't expect this person's alchemy skills to be so high. And he also has such a powerful spell. If I can. At this moment, Lu Yu, who was sitting in the upper seat, looked more and more excited as he looked at the seals formed by Chu Ci's hands. Greed appeared in his eyes, and he wanted to take the pills for himself. Suddenly, a cold intent made him throw those thoughts to the back of his mind. He did not dare to take them out again. The reason for Lu Yu's fear was Lin Rei. Thinking of Lin Rei's decisive killing methods and his identity as a venerable grade alchemist, he became timid. 9 Dragon Pill Fusion Spell. Pill Fusion. Just as Lu Yu's imagination was running wild, Chu Ci's voice rang out. Mysterious seals were formed one after another. Wang. With a strange sound, the alchemy furnace made a strange sound. A medicinal fragrance drifted out. Smelling it, the spiritual energy in one's body increased slightly. Whoosh! Withdrawing his alchemy fire, Chu Si's tense figure and body were completely relaxed. However, because he had used too much spiritual energy, his spirit was sluggish. At the same time, a red light, like a comet, rushed out from the sky and landed in Chu Si's hand. Spirit recovery pill, done. Chapter 734. How could he be so fast? Everyone present saw the pill in Chu Si's hand. However, what shocked them was that an emperor-grade alchemist would need at least 2 to 3 hours to refine an emperor-grade pill. Yet, the person in front of them had used less than an hour and a half to refine an extremely complicated pill. Not only them, but even the president of the Alchemist Guild, Lu Yu, was shocked. As an emperor-level alchemist, he naturally knew how long it took to refine an emperor-level pill. Among the crowd, Lin Li was the only one with a smile on his face. His face was filled with gratification. He was also a little surprised, but not too surprised. After all, he already knew that Chu Si's alchemy skills had greatly improved. At this moment, among the 16 alchemists present, only Chu Si had successfully refined an emperor-level pill. Similarly, the 15 alchemists present were anxious when they saw that someone had successfully refined an emperor-level pill. At the same time, their anxious hearts were slowly filled with admiration. It was not easy to refine an emperor-level middle-level pill in such a short time. President, this is the spiritual recovery pill I refined. The quality is not bad. Do you think I passed? At this moment, Chu Si put the spiritual recovery pill into a pill bottle and stepped forward. In the next second, he arrived beside Lu Yu and presented the pill bottle to Lu Yu for him to see. Even Chu Si himself had never seen the spirit recovery pill before. Although he hadn't seen it, he was confident that the quality of the spirit recovery pill he refined was extremely high. It was for no other reason than the mental energy consumed to refine the spirit recovery pill. Yes. Hearing Chu Si's words, Lu Yu nodded. His eyes were filled with curiosity and anticipation. The moment Chu Si refined the pill, his curiosity had been aroused. After responding, Lu Yu reached out and took the pill bottle. Then, ignoring the gazes of the crowd, he impatiently opened the pill bottle. A red pill lay quietly inside. Hiss, this. At this moment, Lu Yu sucked in a breath of cold air. His face was filled with shock and his eyes widened as if he had seen something amazing. Even a grandmaster-level alchemist like him was shocked by this. What's wrong? What's wrong? F***CK, hurry up and tell me what's going on. Don't F***King keep silent. Hurry up and tell me. You bastard. Hurry up and tell me. Otherwise, I'll do you tonight. Do you believe me? At this moment, the crowd was also filled with curiosity. When they saw Lu Yu's reaction, the curiosity in their hearts was magnified countless times. In response, they didn't care about their status as they scolded Lu Yu in a low voice. The smile on Lin Rei's face grew wider as he watched this scene. However, even he was very curious as to how far Chu Si had managed to go. Even Zhuge He was no different from the others. He stared at Lu Yu anxiously, wanting to seek an answer. As for the alchemists of their own sects, they were already indifferent. As for Chu Si, he was the only one who was extremely confident in his own pill. However, when he saw the smile on Lin Rei's face, he was satisfied. From his point of view, he didn't care about other people's opinions at all. Only Lin Rei's opinion was what he was looking forward to the most. 5 pill markings, this. At this moment, Lu Yu didn't seem to have heard the crowd's urging. He was still filled with shock as he stuttered. However, at this moment, Lu Yu was shocked again and again. This was because when he opened the bottle, a red pill with markings was lying inside. This was a devastating blow to him. 5 pill markings, this is a spiritual recovery pill with 5 pill markings. Its market value is immeasurable. What? Pill markings? 5. Zhuge He, who was sitting beside Lin Rei, stood up in shock the moment he heard Lu Yu's words. He stared at Chu Xi in a daze. At this moment, Chu Xi's gaze was also on Lin Rei. In the end, Zhuge He's gaze landed on Lin Rei, who was sitting beside him. At this moment, an extremely terrifying thought appeared in his mind. Damn, could it be that Chu Xi's pill-calling technique was also taught by Lin Rei? When this thought appeared, Zhuge He's gaze towards Lin Rei became even more venerable. It was as if he wasn't looking at Lin Rei right now, nor was he looking at an expert. Instead, he was looking at a desolate era saint. At the same time, at this moment, the thought of befriending Lin Rei completely emerged. At this moment, Zhuge He understood that he couldn't offend Lin Rei. He would rather offend the entire sect than offend Lin Rei. Motherf *Ker, is he even human? His cultivation is only at the Emperor realm and his pill concoction technique is already so heaven-defying. Do you want to live or die? That's right. If you're so awesome, why did you still participate in the Alchemy Guild? Aren't you intentionally trying to destroy the confidence of our sect's alchemists? I wouldn't dare. What if our sect's alchemists lose all hope in the path of pill concoction? Then, at this moment, the remaining 15 sects were filled with regret. They deeply regretted participating in this alchemy guild. Each and every one of them had a long face as they looked at Chu Xi and Lin Rei. However, more than that, they were looking at their own sect's alchemists. Looking at them, a trace of pity appeared in their eyes. Not bad, you didn't disappoint me. However, if your mental strength isn't enough, don't force yourself to use that concoction technique in the future. I don't wish for you to become an idiot. Do you understand? Lin Rei transmitted his voice. His tone was filled with gratification. Yes, I understand. At this moment, after receiving Lin Rei's approval and praise, Chu Xi's heart was filled with satisfaction. Fellow Daoist, how did you do it? Can you tell me? No, can you teach me? Even if you want me to become your disciple, this old man won't refuse. Lu Yu, who was still in shock, suddenly raised his head and looked at Chu Xi. His eyes were filled with desire as he pleaded. This. Chu Xi was momentarily stunned by this sudden turn of events. When she regained her senses, Lu Yu had already knelt on the ground and started kowtowing. Fellow Daoist, please tell me. How did you concoct these elixir veins? Or what method do you have? Please tell me. At this moment, Lu Yu's voice was filled with grief. He was on the verge of tears as he knelt on the ground and begged Chu Xi. As long as you tell me, I'll agree to anything you want. Even if it's my alchemy guild, I won't refuse. You can take it as you wish. To be honest, although I'm a grandmaster alchemist, I can only concoct 2 elixir veins. Even so, I'm already satisfied. As long as you let me learn the method to concoct elixir veins, I'll become your disciple. This scene happened too quickly and too suddenly. For a moment, everyone's brains seemed to have short-circuited. They were all stunned on the spot and their eyes were filled with disbelief. They had never imagined that a renowned Grandmaster-grade alchemist would kneel before an Emperor-grade alchemist and ask for guidance in alchemy. Such a scene could be said to be one that was rarely seen in 10,000 years. However, as the saying goes, the one who has reached the top, and the teacher's will. When everyone recalled that Chu Xi was able to refine a pill with 5 pill veins, they understood. At this moment, looking at Lu Yu kneeling in front of her, Chu Xi was in a difficult position. President Lu, it's not that I don't want to teach you, but I'm not sure about this method. Moreover, I don't have the authority to teach you, so. I'm sorry. Then, to ease the awkwardness, Chu Xi turned around and used her right hand to summon spiritual energy to her pill furnace. Pooh. a series of strange noises were heard as streaks of red light shot out of the cauldron like comets. Then, they landed in the pill bottle that Chu Ci had prepared in advance on a specific trajectory. This scene shook the hearts of everyone present. They originally thought that Chu Ci had only concocted one pill, but seeing the streaks of red light flying out, there were at least 20 pills. At this moment, everyone was deeply shaken. At the same time, they were even more worried for their Sect's disciples. At the same time, everyone had already changed the name of this alchemy conference to Chu Ci. After all, she was someone that even Lu Yu had to kowtow to. How could they, the juniors, be a match for her? At this moment, everyone only hoped that their Sect's alchemists would not collapse because of this. She put away the pills and looked at the bottle full of pills with 5 elixir veins with satisfaction. Finally, she went to Lin Rei's side and quietly stood behind him without saying a word. This scene made everyone sigh, but no one dared to say anything because they were filled with fear of Lin Rei. Wang, at this moment, a buzzing sound came from below. A young man in white stood up and a green light rushed out of the giant cauldron and flew into his hand. It's from my sword sect. The second one is from my sword sect. Good. Sitting next to Lin Rei, Zhuge He's face was full of smiles. He looked like a chrysanthemum flower, which was very funny. Pfft, what's there to be proud of? Isn't it just because your Sect's alchemist was the second to concoct the pill? Even if you call him out, it still depends on the quality of the pill. If it's not good, it's useless. Yeah, that's true. Let's see what the quality of the pill is first. Don't embarrass yourself later. As soon as Zhuge He laughed, everyone around him began to attack him. At this moment, when he heard everyone's words, the smile on Zhuge He's face froze. They were right. Even if the pill was concocted in advance, it was still too early to say what the quality was. Thinking about this, Zhuge He looked at his Sect's alchemist. His eyes were filled with nervousness and anticipation, but also with worry. President Lu Yu, this is the pill I concocted. Please take a look. At this moment, the young man in white came to Lu Yu's side. His face was full of confidence, as if the result was not important to him at all. What? Another alchemist who can concoct pill veins? A cry of surprise came from Lu Yu's mouth. Immediately, the faces of some of the old men who were waiting to see a joke froze at this moment. It was as if their faces had been slapped by thousands of people. At this moment, everyone couldn't help but lower their heads and stop talking. The old man who was laughing the most previously had his head buried in his pants. Of course, the one who was the most shocked at this moment was Zhuge He. How could he not be excited that his Sect had concocted a pill with pill veins? How is it, President Lu Yu? Did I pass? The young man in white looked at the stunned Lu Yu and said indifferently. Yes, you passed. Lu Yu said in a low voice. But then, Lu Yu raised his head and his eyes were filled with doubt. Although the pill you concocted only has 1 pill veins, you are indeed a rare genius. I don't know if you are interested in joining my alchemist guild. Don't worry, if you come, I, Lu Yu, guarantee that all the resources of the alchemist guild will be used on you. How about it? Get lost, Lu Yu old bastard, you are too much. How dare you snatch in front of me, Zhuge He? Are you looking for death? At this moment, Zhuge He was furious and even had the intention to kill. Originally, it was because his Sect's alchemist had concocted a pill with pill veins. But who would have thought that the president of the Alchemist Guild, Lu Yu, would snatch it in front of the Sword Sect? Interesting. At this moment, everyone's eyes were on Lu Yu and Zhuge He. Only Lin Rei's divine sense was on the young man in white. An early-stage god emperor? Looking at the young man in white, Lin Rei muttered in his heart. He glanced at the young man before turning back to Zhuge He. His face was filled with puzzlement. He did not understand why the other party was clearly a genuine early-stage god emperor, yet he only revealed the strength of an early-stage god monarch. If he did not have the primal chaos heavenly scripture and strong enough mental energy, he would not have been able to see the young man's true strength. Moreover, from the aura on his body, it was clear that he was using some secret technique to hide his cultivation. Looking at him, Lin Rei was worried. Although he did not know why he was like this, Lin Rei was worried that he would be a dark horse this time. Thinking about it, Lin Rei said to Chu Ci behind him, "This young man in white is not simple. He is an early-stage god emperor, so his mental energy should not be what it seems on the surface. As for his alchemy skills, I am not sure. So, you must be careful when you meet him in the future, understand?" Yes, I understand. Nodding, Chu Ci's gaze landed on the young man in white. At the same time, the young man in white felt Chu Ci's gaze. He turned around and their gazes met. The two of them stared at each other for a few minutes. In the end, the young man looked away with a surprised expression. Not simple. Chu Ci could only think of this at this moment. Wang. 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 At this moment, a series of wang sounds could be heard from below. Various colored lights could be seen rushing out of the pill furnace. At this moment, the first round of alchemy was nearing its end. You're tuning into the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.